Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Can we have our seats? Okay. So, before I do my welcome address, okay, it's part of my welcome address, but I just want us to, first of all, let's come forward. There shouldn't be a seat in front of you. I'm talking mostly to the people by this side. So there shouldn't be an empty seat in front of you. Let's come forward. Let's move forward. All right. Good morning once again, everyone. It's with great pleasure and deep purpose I'm welcoming you to Apostles in the Marketplace 2026. It's quite, it's going to be an interesting time. There's one thing I don't want us to look at. I don't want us to look at the numbers. I want us to be open-minded, because what we're here to learn today is beyond our faith in Christ. We're here to learn leadership. We're here to learn personal growth. We're here to learn how to navigate the entrepreneurship lifestyle. All right. So this program is more than just a gathering. It's a meeting point for visionaries, leaders in their respective fields, as well as the entrepreneurs who are ready to make meaningful impact in the world. So today we'll be talking about leadership, excellence, innovation, how to thrive in the market space. So this is a conference that people pay for. I have been to conferences, and you hear the amount that people are paying, and you still not see the value of the mindset we're bringing today. So I would especially like to recognize our father of faith in the house. Can we put our hands together for Papa? You people should put your hands together for Papa. And also, I want us to put our hands together for Mama. Mama should be somewhere. Mama, if you're watching us online, we love you. Thank you so much for your labor of love. So as we proceed, I really want to encourage us to be open to learn, open to connect. I want us to take hold of insights that will transform our mind, that will transform our businesses. From the scan I've done, a lot of us are just entering the business world. A lot of us are just entering the corporate world. We're new to this space, and we have people that would be coming up to teach us, because the corporate world is beyond our dailies. There's a whole lot more to the corporate world. So, starting this beautiful program, we're about to have one of the sessions I personally look forward to. This session is a beautiful one. We're having a session with Pastor Femi Ogunsoya. Can you put your hands together? So Pastor Femi Ogunsoya is a distinguished spiritual leader, accomplished professional, and visionary with a strong commitment to faith, to education, and to service. By the grace of God, please, I want the energy that you would get. Thank you so much. So by the grace of God, Pastor Femi gave his life to Jesus at the age of 13. At the age of 13, where was I? So Pastor Femi gave his life to Jesus at the age of 13. His journey into ministry began where he served as NIFES training secretary during his National Youth Service in Zaria, Kaduna in 1995 and 1996 session. In 2002, alongside his beautiful wife, Pastor Olajumoke Ogunsoya, he pioneered Chapel of Transfiguration, a church that started with just 3 adults, 3 children. Can you look around yourself now? We are more than that. So can we please put our hands together? So for many years, he successfully combined ministry with a thriving career in banking. However, in 2011, he was led by God to resign from his role as Assistant General Manager and Chief Information Officer to enter full-time ministry. Can you put your hands together? Because Sorry, I'm going to pause there because let me use street slang. They always bust my head when I see people in top positions say, God called me, I'm going to leave. Because physically, we all know that our goal is to be very successful. And when you reach that certain height at that certain age, and God is calling you, a lot of us will be like, are you sure it's not my village people that are calling me? So anyways, Pastor Femi has attended numerous leadership, management, and information technology training programs at top institutions in India, South Africa, the United Kingdom, and the United States. By the grace of God, these trainings have contributed to the excellence with which he fulfills his ministerial duties. An author of 2 books, Pastor Femi is currently married to Pastor Olajumoke Ogunsoya, is co-visionary and partner in ministry, and they are blessed with 4 children, 4 biological children, and 1,000 more spiritual children. All this, is it that you are not part of Pastor Femi's children? Because I was expecting that, you know, they are calling your dad on stage. All right, can we please stand on our feet? I want us to stand on our feet as we put our hands together for my one and only Papa and the person of Pastor Femi Ogunsoya. Put your hands together until he sits down. So anchoring this beautiful session is my friend, my brother. My brother is currently a banker, so I think that he understands the background where Pastor Femi is coming from. Can we put our hands together for the beautiful, brilliant anchor of this session and the person of Gabriel? And then put your hands together for me.
Praise the Lord, everybody. Thank you for coming and for attending this service and this program, rather. It's a very great privilege for me to be on the same stage with our Papa, Pastor Femi Ogunsoya. Thank you very much for answering our call to be here. So this morning, we're going to be having a discussion on leadership and being young, that is, being young in leadership. And I know many of you you aspire to be leaders very young. You don't want to wait till you're like maybe 50 or, you know, the typical Nigerian stereotype that it is when you are at a certain age that you become a leader. We want to be young and we want to be leaders, and these are the things to expect from this program. You are going to be getting knowledge, insights, and I believe, and then I hope you all here are with your jotters and your biros. If you're not with your jotters and biros, you can just use your notepad. Welcome again. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, so to begin this program, you know, he's going to be taking us through his own journey, and then he's going to be giving us pathways, that is roadmaps, that we can use to achieve what he had achieved in his own time when he was in the professional sector. So, Papa, before the calling, we would like to know who you were in the marketplace.
Praise the Lord. Okay, I feel happy to be here this morning. And I believe that this session will be a blessing to every one of us in the mighty name of Jesus. So before the calling, I was a banker. I was working in the bank before going into ministry.
So at what point did you realize that you were called to more?
Okay, sorry, let me just... I was actually... I received a call into ministry when I was doing my NYSC. Before going into banking sector. But there's a difference between the calling, and the appointed time. And And so the gap between the calling and the appointed time was the period I served in the banking sector. So I actually got the calling before going into banking. But that gap in between gave me the opportunity to work in the bank before I fully went into what God has asked me to do.
Thank you very much for that response, sir. So we'd love to know the biggest mistakes that young leaders make.
Okay, the biggest mistake young leaders make, not young people. Young leader.
I'm saying leadership because I already believe that we are all leaders. So young people.
Okay, let me start by saying the biggest mistake young leaders make. Then I'll talk about the mistakes young people make. Because it's possible for you to be a real leader from youthful age. Now, the biggest mistake I've seen young leaders make is number one, pride. And I'm talking from experience. By the grace of God, I was privileged to occupy leadership position at a very early stage in my life. I became head of IT when I was less than 30 as an assistant manager. I became a full manager at the age of 29 plus. I was riding a brand new BMW. I bought a brand new car for my wife. So we had 3 cars, 2 brand new, one Tokumbo we used for market run. I was living a good life. We could travel abroad every year, but I was still myself. I didn't lose the sense of who I was then. I could still relate with people that are lower than me. A lot of my, in fact, the interesting thing is that when I was already a manager, some of my friends that I left secondary school with were living in my house. In fact, interestingly, 2 of them, the guy who used to come first position in my class, the one who used to come second position. I used to come third before I eventually became second. They were actually living with me. We were working in the same bank. I was like 5 steps ahead of them in the bank. And we were able to relate. They were living in my house. We were working in the same office. They didn't have any car. I had 3. You understand? But we were able to relate. They stayed with me for over 1 year before they move into their own houses. You understand? So the problem with young leaders today is pride. Some people, little success get into their head, they start misbehaving. I see young people today that have not even handled 10 million before. Their first 1 million. Nobody can talk to them again. They don't greet anybody in church again. They just feel they have arrived. I keep wondering, what have they actually seen out of life? Then one other thing that I saw then is that my driver used to tell me that other drivers in the driver's room in the office used to say that you and your guy is always church, office, home. But their own guy from office, they will go to club. You understand? That your own guy is not like that. And those are young guys like me. You understand? But they didn't have space for God. They felt they were making it. They felt they've made it so early. What they need to do is to just enjoy their life, to party around. So pride and not creating space for God in your life is the major problem with young leaders. Now, talking about youth that are not yet leaders, the problem of young people today is despising, number one, the day of little beginning. They don't put their effort into, if this thing is not going to give them big money, their best will not be there. But what they fail to realize is that there is nothing that God cannot use to take you to where you are going through. So they despise little things. They are only looking for big things in life. And for many of them, that big opportunity never come their way. Because it is usually the small opportunity that will open door to the big one.
Thank you very much, sir. You can clap better, you can clap better. I mean, from this particular one in particular, I gained 3 things. Number 1 is to be humble, humility. Number 2 is the God factor. And then the third one, that one speaks to me personally myself. It speaks to me the most, and then thank you very much. I really appreciate it, sir. So how can someone lead when they do not feel ready?
How can you lead when you do not feel ready? Now, okay, that question too, I want to look at it from two perspectives. Are you saying how do you enter into a leadership position when you don't feel ready for it? Now, people don't get into leadership position because they feel like getting there. People are usually called into leadership position. You are either called by man or you are called by God. I was an assistant manager when my boss resigned. He was the head of IT. And then our sector head met with the MD. And the MD asked him, what are we going to do? And he said, we don't need to hire somebody else. Femi should step into that position. The question is that, do I feel ready? It's not about my feeling. It's about I've been called into that office. So when you are talking about leadership position, you are called into it, either by God or by man. You understand? So it's not about, and what is important, the readiness for leadership is service. You understand? As long as you are serving, when the calling comes, even when you don't feel ready, you will see yourself performing because you have always been serving. Because while my boss was around, I was able to pay attention to what he's doing, pay attention to every area of what is happening in the department. And so when the opportunity comes, I was not thinking I was going to have that opportunity. So the feeling of readiness may not be there. But in terms of preparation, the preparation was there because I've always been putting myself forward to serve. So service is the preparation for leadership. So once you are given to service, you will always be ready to lead.
Who are currently seeing something similar or facing something similar as this transition that you mentioned, and they feel underqualified for it?
Okay, that's another thing. Feeling underqualified is a different game entirely. Every leader has that sense of feeling that they are underqualified. And the reason is simple. It is that feeling that will make you to ask for God's help. If you feel you can do it, then why do you need God? Do you understand what I'm saying? And it is that feeling that pushes you towards acquiring more knowledge. If you feel you have all it takes, why are you learning more to get better at the job? So it's a feeling that cannot go away. Every leader always feels underqualified because that feeling pushes them to God and it pushes them to learn more to get better at what they are doing.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Please clap. Thank you. So, have you ever been through a season, through the course of your career, where you felt your efforts were not being recognized, or you were constantly being, in quotes, underlooked, you were not being seen, you felt invincible, and how did you navigate through that season?
Okay, I think that happened during the first year in my career in the bank. When I started working, I have a colleague who was working with me in the department, who had my back, was always going to my boss to tell him that I'm not doing my work. And the boss we had then was the boss that he was not really involved with what we are doing. He would just assign rule. He was not even doing any supervision. You understand what I'm saying? We were just left alone to do what we are doing. But I was putting my best into my work, and each time we have meeting, my boss will keep telling me, Femi, you are not doing well. If you are not doing well, I'm going to recommend to the management. But what are the parameters? You understand what I'm saying? I knew what was going on. So what did I do? I kept putting in my best, and I kept praying. And so one day, the guy, my boss, wanted to destroy my career. Then the project that was given to me was to implement internet for the entire bank. That was when internet came to Nigeria. So he now said that you're going to make presentation to the executive management. I was an entry-level staff. You can imagine telling me to go and stand before Fola Adiola, Tayo Aderi Nokun, and all the executive director to make presentation before them. But when he asked me to go and do it, I didn't say no. I knew I was not meant to go. I knew it was his responsibility to go and do the training for the executive management. I've trained everybody in the bank. But for the executive management, it is his responsibility. I can only accompany him there. You understand? Because that is the highest level in the bank. So when I got there, the first question the DMD asked me is that, where is your boss? You understand? And so when I started the presentation, he didn't even listen. He was reading his newspaper. But when he saw the way I was doing it, at a point, he put down the newspaper and he started looking at me, started paying attention. And when I finished the presentation, the IT was in Plaza. The head office was in, I can't remember the name of that area now. So they called my boss from the office. That so you have a brilliant guy like that in your department. And that year, the year that he had been telling me that I will not be promoted, there was no way he could not promote me because I've been exposed to the executive management as a good star. It was the same board that recommended me for promotion, and I was promoted. Now, what really happened? I was consistent in doing my work, and I kept praying to God, and God made a way for me. And when the opportunity to do something I was not supposed to do came, I didn't shy away. I didn't tell my boss that, why are you sending me? I took up the responsibility, and God used that to pave way for my promotion.
Thank you very much. Please, let's clap. Consistency is key in whatever we do. So your growth was rapid. So you have just mentioned consistency as one of the key things that helped you. What are those other things that people don't see behind that speed?
Okay, I think for me, my growth in banking, I will attribute it first and foremost to the hand of God upon my life. Then number two, I had a very clear goal. As at the time I was being interviewed, they asked me what is my 5 years plan. Or where do I see myself in the next 5 years? And I told them that I see myself becoming a manager in 5 years. How did I get that inspiration of being a manager? Okay, I feel that a manager is where leadership, real leadership started from in the banking sector. And I've read my Bible right from my teenage age that David became a king at the age of 30. Joseph became a prime minister at the age of 30. So 30 was significant to me. When I was being interviewed, I was 25 years old. Because I don't have the privilege of many of you. I entered school at the age of 17 plus. Strike, I did a 5-year post-engineering. I did almost 2 years of ASU strike, all kind of doing MKO. I graduated at the age of 24, served 1 year, started working at the age of 25. I knew I've lost a lot of time. And I believed that I should be able to have a milestone achievement at the age of 30. So I told them in that interview that I see myself becoming a manager in 5 years. And I made it at 29 plus. So there was a clear goal, clear vision that was guiding me. And I also gave myself to self-development. And I don't also shy away from opportunity. I've said that before. Any opportunity for me to project myself, to present myself, I always take advantage of such opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Please, we can clap better. I'm sure so far so good. We have gotten one or two things from Papa. So the next question I'll be asking is, how can we lead without a title?
Okay, so the leading without a title, I said before that leadership is about service. Jesus said, anyone that will be leader among you must first be the servant of all. So assuming that when you guys came here this morning, the church was not properly arranged, and everybody sat down waiting for the guy in charge of the organizing, the head of the department, to come and get his team to arrange the chair. Then you are just there. You saw that there is a problem here. And you started arranging the shares. And after a while, you reach out to other people that, oh, you guys, if you don't mind, can you join me? And few people join you. Is that leadership or not? That's leadership. You have taken a bold step. You have been able to get other people. You have influenced others. You started by first doing the arrangement before calling on people. You have influenced other people to join you. Leadership is about influence. You understand? So, as long as you can have influence to carry people along, to do things for the church, in your organization, in the society, you are already leading even without having any title.
Practical steps on how this applies in a typical workspace.
Okay, so I just give you an example of church environment. The church not being organized is a need. And nobody is attending to it because they feel that that problem is for somebody else. It's not for their department. And everybody is looking away. Then you step out to start by solving the problem. And while you are solving the problem, then you reach out to other people, can you join me? Because they have seen you doing it. When they are joining you, you are influencing them to join you. And that is taking leadership role without having a position. And it can be the same thing in your place of work. There could be a need. The person that will solve the problem is not around. And everybody is looking away. And then out of those who are looking away, you just step out to fix the problem and encourage other people to join you. Then you're occupying leadership position.
In today's world, what defines a leader today?
Okay, what defines a leader today? Okay, let me say it this way. In the past, what defines a leader is how strong that leader is. But today, what defines a leader is how strong his team is. So leadership today is defined by team spirit. How strong your team is how strong you are as a leader.
Thank you very much, sir. That was very deep. Very, very deep. So, in a world where young people are chasing career growth, money, stability at the same time, so how do you stay grounded without losing yourself in the pressure to succeed?
Okay, so this rat race is a very common thing. Everybody is running after money, running after position. But for me, what has been the guiding principle for me is Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. The Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and every other thing will be added to you. The Bible is not saying you should not seek other things. It's just saying you should prioritize the kingdom. So when you prioritize the kingdom, you will not be chasing shadows. You will be chasing written, because those things get attracted to you even before you start chasing them. So my advice to the youth is to prioritize the kingdom. It's good to chase after career growth, promotion, wealth, but let the kingdom of God be your number one priority. And have at the back of your mind that whatever you get eventually in the market space, you are going to use it for the purpose of the kingdom. Once that is your priority, then you are going to live a balanced life, and you are not going to burn out in the process of experiencing growth in your career or in your business.
We understand now from what you have said that we have to put God first and prioritize his kingdom. What are those other things that we must also put in consideration? So yes, we are prioritizing God, but to get to the top, there are other things that we need to build. There are other things that we need to carry along to get to the top. So what are those other things?
Work is important. Prayer is important. Taking advantage of opportunity like the one I spoke, you saw opportunity. Nobody is willing to take it up. take up the opportunity. Then public presentation, especially opportunity to make presentation in the office. Let people get to know you. You understand? Because you never know where they will discuss your promotion. When I started in Guarantee Trust Bank, they used to call me Femi Internet. That's the name I'm known for across all the bank, because I was the one who first implemented internet for the bank when it came into the country. You understand? So, and then when I had the opportunity of coming before the executive management, I was known to them. I was known in virtually all the branches. You understand? So there is nowhere they will discuss about. In fact, the next job I got in another bank, it was a marketer in another branch that met me in a wedding ceremony and said to me that they are looking for somebody in IT in their bank. He has left GTB. We have never worked together before. But I was known bank-wide as Femi Internet. That would you like to come and work in our bank? You understand? So put yourself in the public. Have people skill, relate with people. Because people are the ladder you are going to climb to get to the top. You understand? And then, very important, always contribute in meetings. Now, and this is very key for me. I remember when there was a time I was expecting promotion, I was not promoted. And my MD told me that the reason why I was not promoted is that managers are not made in the server room. Managers are made in meeting. I used to attend management meeting, but I only talk when they are talking about IT. I know about operation. I know about credit. But when they are saying, I will tell myself, this is not my area, I will just keep quiet. But talking about those other diverse areas shows people that you have a depth of understanding beyond the local area you are overseeing. And so when there is an opportunity in the future, they say this guy is well-grounded. But when you go to a meeting, you only ask a question that is peculiar to your department. When they are doing other discussion, you keep quiet. Then you are not preparing for leadership. So when you are working in any institution, you must have an helicopter view of whatever is going on in that institution. You must be able to talk about every area. Don't limit yourself to your department. Because leaders are not just people that are only specialized in one core area. Leaders are people that have a good understanding of what is going on in the organization. So if you can put all these things into practice, getting to the top will not be difficult for you.
Thank you very much for that. I mean, adding to what you have just said in that space, I think I've also been affected positively in that aspect. You know, there's one thing that I call good eye service. I mean, anything that you will do to put yourself out there and will not negatively impact another person, by all means, do it. Very important. I mean, the organization I used to work for, they appointed a new leader, that's the head of sales. Someone new came in, and then they were looking for somebody that would work with him. And then it was another manager that recommended me and said that I should work with him. And how the manager knew me was through my emails, suggestions. Whenever there's a challenge with systems, I just write emails and copy the necessary people and say, this is a problem, and this is how you can resolve. And then I became very popular in the bank because they know that Gabriel will surely address something like this and that. But I did not even take the offer anyway. Thank you very much, sir. I didn't take it because that was not what I wanted for myself. Yeah. Okay, so in a world where young people are chasing, I think I've asked that question. So when you are faced with multiple important decisions, okay, I think this is something that is very common with people of our age. Multiple decisions, cutting across, job offers, jackpot, in quotes, and switching paths. I mean, how do we discern the right direction to go?
First of all, talk about especially people traveling abroad. A lot of time people travel abroad and they keep it secret to themselves. You understand? They feel that, oh, let me not tell anybody. And some eventually discover that they are making the big mistake of their life. The Bible says in the multitude of counseling, there is safety. There is virtually nothing you want to do that nobody has done before. So whatever issue, whatever challenges you are going through, identify somebody in your space or in your industry that has gone through that similar experience. You understand? And talk to them about it and let them counsel you. Now, it doesn't mean that you are going to take the counsel, but at least you have, it's like a raw material you have in your hand that you can process and work with. You understand? So, in taking career decision, either to relocate or to change job, you need counseling. And you must ensure that you get counseling from the right people. People who have been in that same situation before. You want to travel abroad, people who have traveled abroad, who are back to Nigeria and they are doing exploit. There are people who have traveled and they are over there, they are doing exploit. So you seek proper counseling. And then the other aspect is to see whether that decision aligns with your career goals. And that, I said at the beginning that I set a clear goals for myself. And so it's easy for me to know what aligns with my goals and what does not align with my goal. Does this your career goal? And then the third is to pray. A lot of the career decision I took while I was in the band, I usually have 3 days fasting before taking any major decision. You understand? Even when God is not speaking, even if God did not say anything, I will still commit it to the hand of the Lord. Because I know that even when I'm not hearing anything and I'm just moving forward, taking decision based on my intuition, because I've committed it to God, God will guide me from falling into mistake or falling into error. Sometimes God will speak expressly. Sometimes God will not say anything. You understand? But I will just have peace in my mind and just follow my intuition. And I see myself making the right decision most of the time because I usually seek counsel. I pray. You understand what I'm trying to say? I find out whether I align with my career goal before I take any decision in life.
Thank you, sir. Because of our time, we'll be taking our final question, one last question. And that is, what would you say to someone here who feels life is unfair to them or that they have already missed their time?
Okay. Somebody feeling life is unfair to him. I think life is unfair to most people. And that's the truth. Was life fair to me? My parents divorced when I was just 2 years old. I never had the privilege of calling daddy in my life. I don't have that memory. As the time I will first recognize my father was in the courtroom when I was 7 years old. Was life fair to me? I was hawking pure water when I was in primary school in the motor park. After that, I started working minerals in the motor park when I was in primary school. Was life fair to me? When I was in secondary school, I started working pepper at Arodo Shombo. That time I was ashamed because of my colleague. I will carry if I see any of my, I will go and hide somewhere. Because that time I have grown. You understand that? Was life fair to me when I was going through all that? But has that hindered me from becoming what I am today? So life is not fair to most people. You are the one who will make the best out of your life.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So we'll be going into the final section, which is question and answer. So if you have a question in the audience, you can just raise up your hand. Can someone please let me pass the microphone around?
Okay, praise God. Thank you so much, Papa. This has been a very insightful session. So I have a question. At some point you said that when there are lapses in like the office space, if you see a need to like step in, you should step in. That's how like you start to build leadership skills. But right now I know someone personally who steps in like in places like this, like he steps in to just help assist. And at the same time, there are a lot of people that comes at him like, oh, you are doing too much, high service, all of that. And sometimes like I see him like, he weighs him down, right? He gets to the point where he's doing this thing because he just feels a need to, not because he's even asked to. And let's even say a time comes and he does not do it. You now hear the same people saying, why didn't you do this thing? Like, first of all, it's not even my job to do this thing. At some point I do, it becomes you are doing too much. And at some point he does not even, maybe he just lays back or something. And people begin to come at him like, oh, why didn't you do this thing? And so in that case, what do we do?
Okay, the reason why most people are not leaders is because most people are not doing what leaders are doing. And that's why you see that kind of reaction from most people. So if you allow them to weigh you down and you join them, you become like them. You never have the opportunity to lead in life. You understand? Leaders, they do things that are not popular. That's what leadership is all about. If it's popular, then you are not in the right path. So those things will come. Ignore it. Just keep doing what you are doing. One day it's going to pay off for you.
You can go.
So my question is more about your career path. You said you studied engineering and then you started working in a bank doing IT. I wanted to ask, how did that pivot from studying one thing in a particular field and then deciding to work in a different field? How was that transition for you? Because for someone like me that's also studying engineering, who can only think of doing engineering-related things, but might maybe now decide to transition to a different field later, what's that transition like? How can we make it easier for ourselves?
Okay, I think for me, it was more of interest. I studied computer engineering, and then while I was in the university, my senior brother was already working in the bank, and his friends started coming to our house. I just love the way they dress. There was just this thing about banking. I'm not talking about banking of today. There is no glamour in banking again, no. The bankers of those days. So I fell in love with banking, and I made up my mind. And then you can enter banking with any degree. I made up my mind that I was going to work in the bank. But I was also determined that I want to be in the IT of the bank, so that at least I can be doing what is related to my course in the IT space. And how did I prepare for that? Before the interview was when they were still doing manual clearing in Nigeria before I got employed in the bank. But CBN was already talking about automated clearing system. So I read about it. As a copper, I had a very deep understanding about automated clearing system. And so during my interview, there is a way I move the interviewer in a way that they ask me questions that relates to that area. And I started telling them about automation. And they were wondering, how did I get this kind of information? You understand? And so when they were posting, I was posted to IT because they feel that I could add value in terms of automation in the bank. But let me also say this, that in life, at times we study one course. Your course may not really be your purpose. And that's what most people need to understand. And a lot of people shy away from the opportunity that comes their way. They say, oh, this is not my line. You keep dropping it. You keep dropping it. Awoshika studied chemistry. Our first job was in a carpentry company. He was working in a furniture company. You understand? And later she started her own furniture business. But what's the relationship between chemistry and all of that? But today, she is finding more fulfillment. You understand? She could have said no to that job, that I studied chemistry. What was my business with furniture business? You understand what I'm saying? So opportunity, at times opportunity may come our way. It may not be your area, but that's the only opportunity you have. Take advantage of it, because you never know what will speak for you in your future. Do you understand? So don't be afraid of change. Your university degree just gave you an opportunity to function anywhere. That is how first degree is. A lot of people, my second son studied business. He's working as a UI UX engineer. He didn't study it in school. Do you understand? So your first degree just gives you an opportunity to work anywhere. So don't limit yourself. Don't put yourself in the cage of engineering. You understand? Because God want to take you beyond that level in life.
So we'll be taking the last question.
All right. So, praise the Lord. Oh, so sorry. Praise the Lord. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for this beautiful session. Currently, I'm a Scrum Master and a team coach for a large org. And most people that I get to plan their day and do their appraisals are like quite older than me. So my question basically is, you were an AGM at a very young age at the bank. So how did you handle the pressure of leading people that were older than you? Because there's something currently that I think is a trend in the workspace where they say, this person is Gen Z, and they already expect that because you're in the leadership position, you're automatically going to be very rude. But how do you manage that pressure and lead people that you are quite older than?
Okay, so even while I was in most banks that I've worked, even though when I was the head of the department, most of the time I used to be the youngest, you understand? And when I became AGM, I'm very sure that I was the youngest AGM in the entire bank. But for me, what really helped me that time is, to lead, you need knowledge to lead. It must be obvious to people that they are not making mistakes by putting you in that position. You understand? So you must, in terms of knowledge, you must be outstanding. Then number 2 is, you must be humble and be firm. Humility means you don't talk to people rudely. There is respect for one another, even for people that are your junior. Being firm means if people do something wrong, you understand, you can take a firm decision in line with policy, you understand, to take decision without looking at anybody's face. Do you understand what I'm saying? So once you are able to put all of these 3 together, knowledge, humility, and being firm in taking decision, you will not have problem even when you are the youngest in the boardroom.
Okay.
All right. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for the session. So my question is on a lighter note. So, Papa, if God didn't call you by that time, God called you, what exactly would you still be doing right now? You said you wanted to be a manager at a certain age. You had already conquered that. What if God didn't call you? Like, would you still be in the corporate world, or maybe you would be a carpenter, or which one? Or a farmer?
Okay, so if I was not called, the truth of the matter is that there was no interest in becoming a pastor for me. Even though right from my teenage age, I've been very committed to the things of God. But I never envisioned that one day I would be a pastor. So I came here because I was called to be here. Now, assuming I was not called, okay, so now I'm 53. I became an AGM. I left banking at the age of 39. As at 39, I've been an AGM for 3 years. So, and I left banking over how many? 2011 to now is how many years? 15. By now, I should not be in banking again. No. It's either I am MD or I'm out of banking. Because once you become an executive director and you are not moving up again, after a while you have to exit. Do you understand? So what I would have been doing, I never thought about what I would be doing because I had my calling since. So I've always planned my life towards my calling. You understand? But if I'm out of banking, unless I will start thinking about it now, politics, I don't think so. I don't think so. I would rather, because even while I was initially, I have some IT company before in the past, you understand? So I'll probably be running my IT firm. You understand what I'm trying to say? That's probably what I'll be doing.
Okay.
All right.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Okay. Good afternoon, Papa. Good afternoon, everybody. I really appreciate this opportunity, even though this is like not directly my career, but I think I have gotten some things. So my question is, how do you deal with dilemma in, like, let's say you want to do this thing, or okay, now for example, you gave an example of when your promotion didn't come, and so what exactly, like, how do you put it when maybe you are discouraged that something you want is not coming at that point in your career, and it feels like maybe you are stuck, or you are just trying to fathom what to do next in your career? Yeah, that's my question.
Okay, and I think this is where boldness comes in. The first time I was denying promotion, I went, then Femi Pedro was my MD. I went to him and I told him that I believe I deserve this promotion because I worked for it. When it comes to what I want, I could display an unusual level of boldness without disrespecting anybody. And so when I told him, he felt that I may likely leave the bank. And so he called some of the executive management to have a meeting with me and one other guy that was not promoted, the minister of power that just left now, Bayo Adelabu. He was a manager to be promoted to senior manager. I was a DM to be promoted to manager. So they met with both of us to promise us that in 6 months' time we are going to be promoted, that we should not leave the bank. Unfortunately for my MD then, the head of that committee, who is my Chuku, called me in the night that is going to another bank, that will I like to go with him. You understand? And that is going to give me the manager I want immediately. Now, I'm saying this because boldness at times, being bold, can deliver what you want to your hand. So another time, it was not this my Chukwu again. When the bank was going into merger, they said this year the promotion is going to be based on people who are able to meet their IPO target, bringing money for the bank for the shares we were selling then. I tried my best. I didn't meet my target. So they promoted others. Those who made target, only a few people. I was not promoted. And I knew that once we go into merger, before they talk about promotion again, bank, we need to settle. I fasted, prayed, went to his office, had 30-minute discussion with him why I should be promoted. He has already made a public announcement that no promotion in the bank again. He said, okay, Femi, I've had you can go. Few days after, HR sent message to all the bank that they should do another round of appraisal. And that was promotion that led to me becoming a senior manager. So boldness, being bold. I told you I prayed. This is not to go and be arrogant before your boss. I prayed, I was led. So boldness at times can be what you need at times when you find yourself in such situation, when you are not getting what you want. At times, God may also tell you to wait. You understand? If God has told me I should not go and meet him, I won't go. You understand? Because you may not always have your way all the time. You understand? And not being promoted is still part of it. It's part of career. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So just ensure that you seek the face of God and you do what is right, and you will get there. Can we take this as the final?
Good morning, Papa. Good morning, everyone. So my question goes to us, like, as a leader, obviously you have somebody or people that are working under you. So how do you navigate when you have somebody that works under you or somebody that you are training, and then despite all your efforts to get that person to where you feel like they should be, their commitment is not shown, and then they keep making excuses here and there, and you try to encourage this person, trying to just put them through, but still they are not producing the results. And I can understand from your answer to Ebon's question that being firm can also mean to some people that, oh, this person is wicked, this person. So how do you solve that type of issue?
Okay, I think leadership in church is a bit different from leadership in the corporate world. And that is why in the corporate world, we have what we call appraisal system. Your duty as a leader is to develop people that are working under you. Their responsibility is to deliver on their job. And on the day of appraisal, there is a particular threshold they should not score below. If they score below that threshold, they may not be a proper fit for the organization. And what leadership means is the ability to show the people the way out when they are not performing. There is no sentiment, there is no emotion. You are just doing your job as the boss. You understand? You may give people another chance, but if after giving them a chance, they are still not measuring up, you will be doing a disservice to the organization if you keep them in the system, because you are robbing the organization you are working for. So you take them out, you understand, and get them replaced. That is if you know adequate training has been doing, proper counseling has been done, and the people are not measuring up. The only way your business can see thriving is if you have the right people that are doing the right thing in your organization.
Thank you very much, Papa. Thank you very much for the questions. We have come to the end of the session. Please, apologies. You can meet Papa subsequently for your questions personally. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Praise the Lord. Chapel 121. Praise the Lord. Now I love that energy. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Treasure. Thank you, Papa, for this opportunity. So I won't take much of our time. We are going into something very interesting, and I want this to be very interactive. I want us to air our opinions, answer questions, and this should not be boring, please. Thank you. So now, let's start with a quick show of hands. How many of us here are doctors, lawyers, bankers, engineers? If you know you are in the corporate world, please, can I see your hands? Okay, yeah. Okay, now, how many of us are entrepreneurs, self-employed, and into tech? Can I also see our hands up? Okay, good. We can see that the room itself is saying something. But I want to be clear. I'm not trying to say one part is better than the other or one career is better than the other. But I want us to understand why our generation is shifting. The real question is, why is there a noticeable shift in our generation away from traditional career paths to entrepreneurship, self-employment, tech? You see a whole lot of people that studied, like Papa said, you see some people that studied banking, studied engineering and other things, but they are moving into other spaces, like they are moving into entrepreneurship. This is our generation. We are moving into entrepreneurship, tech, and all. Why is there a noticeable change? So if you have an answer, please just raise up your hand. Okay. I think one person is there. Good afternoon. I'm not hearing, sorry.
If I'm being honest, I think what changed is exposure. Okay. Our parents before now, they only had one path, which was go to school, get a job. But in our generation, we've seen alternatives. We've seen people make money online. We've seen people build businesses from scratch. We've seen people create things for themselves, which has changed the way we think. At the same time, a lot of traditional career jobs, as you say, are not as sustainable as they used to be. But entrepreneurship, on the other hand, allows for freedom, multitasking, remote options, which people now prioritize over the usual monthly salaries of labor workers. So basically what changed is exposure.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other person that wants to answer? Okay, I'm seeing one hand there. Yeah.
Thank you. So I think one of the things that might have changed is the ratio of the way the economy is to what the expected salary or the expected income is. For salary earners, it is usually like a stable income over an extended period of time. It doesn't usually change very, very much, regardless of which way the economy swings or which way the economy flows. But because in our generation, we've noticed that, okay, with freelancing in tech or in entrepreneurship or in all those types of spaces, you can decide to change or switch or evolve however you want to match how you feel the economy is moving. If things are getting too expensive, you can decide, if you're someone in tech, you can decide to move to a company that gives developers a higher pay. If you're an entrepreneur, you can decide to roll something else out that might be more accessible to people in the market, so they will buy your stuff or whatever. So I think freelancing and entrepreneurship just gives that freedom in the way the income is structured, as opposed to the more professional, stable career path.
Thank you very much. Okay, now I'm hearing things like, okay, one person wants to answer there. Sorry.
Okay, so I feel like it's about the flexibility. So doing your selling stuffs and tech and everything, it's flexible compared to the corporate jobs we have. They are just structured in a particular way. They are very fixed. So you go to the office, you do things, and you don't really have time for yourself. You don't really have time. But when you are selling stuffs and everything, you get to pattern your time. And then some people are looking for meaning. Mm-hmm. Some people don't just want to do routine. They want to do what they love. And so some people love to make bags. Some people love to cook. Some people love to do. So they are finding meaning basically. And their businesses, tech will give them that meaning that they are looking for.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, one person here.
All right, so I'm going to speak to regards what she just said. She said that, the corporate world is more difficult and all of that. I work in a corporate space now, to the glory of God. But at the same time, I'm a creative. I have friends that are entrepreneurs. I feel like the concept of the corporate space is more difficult, is a cliche that needs to go. Have you seen it? See, I have a friend that makes bags. She makes bags, and to meet orders. First of all, let's say you are even just starting out. You cannot afford to pay other people. The time, the sleepless night. I'm a social media manager. I spend nights on those content calendar. I just feel like, please, let's not say one is more difficult than the other. Thank you.
Okay. One person is here, please. Let's take this person here.
Okay, so I think another thing I wanted to add is technology advancements, okay, right? So nowadays, a lot of people are getting laid off. Like, you can wake up and then somebody has power over what you just wake up on a bad side and you decide to just lay people off, right? So now you have to keep up with what is going on in the world. And I feel like social media has also helped us in our age to see that there are things that are out there. Things are getting automated every time, right? Labor is reducing and technology is increasing. So now that's where the focus is. That's why we are moving towards tech. And then for entrepreneurship, I do tech, and then I'm also a social media manager, and then I have my business. Why? Because money factor, right? Before you wait, like salary earners, you depend on the money that you're getting at the end of the month. But that money, you can channel it into places where you can get returns, right? You can invest it now. Before, during our parents, they didn't have this opportunity. They didn't even see it, talk less of achieve it. So I think that's why.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so I would like to add to this. Interestingly, I'm also part of that shift. I studied medical laboratory science in the university, but currently I'm an entrepreneur. And so I would say, like what you said, it will give you more, you have more time, to be honest. You have more time for yourself. When I was looking for a job, it was hard. To be honest, it was hard. So I had to just shift. Now I want to ask, do you think this shift is influenced by social media too? And the idea of quick success? Because some people will think, this person is into this. This person is doing this. And they are making money. There is money in this thing. Let me move to this. Do you think this entrepreneurship thing is a genuine calling, or it is influenced by social media or the idea of quick success? Okay, hand, sorry, thank you.
Okay, I feel like entrepreneurship, it's a two-way thing if we look at it, because social media helps and you realize that, oh, this person is doing this. And you can even do it better than the person. So you're like, okay, I think I should do it. I think I should start my new business. I'm really good at this. I'm really good at this. But then on the other side, a lot of people have, because of things haven't really been working. When you see your friend and she's blowing on TikTok, she's making money. She goes online. She's making money. And I feel like, okay, I think I should invest in it. I think the drawing line should be, what do you want? What works for you? Because if not, social media throws things at our faces. And if you accept everything, you just be doing all the whole careers. And you see that you have done every single thing.
True. Thank you. Okay.
Amen. Yeah. All right. So for the fact of social media has influenced a lot of things. Social media will continue influencing things, and it will continue. My boss will say, if you want to do something mainly because of the money, because people are making money in that place, you might get there and you will fail woefully. And also, let me bring it out to where I work, my space, the Web3 space now. If you're in the Web3 space now, a lot is happening there. So if it's that you went initially because you heard that you can wake up next morning and you get airdrops, this. If you are there because of that fact, and now you no longer see things like that because of social media has helped you to see all those things. Somebody is posting his big wins, but he's not posting his losses. And now you are there now, you are seeing, you are crying. Social media does push. So I feel the shift is, you can get influenced negatively by social media, but that's not like the main cause of the shift.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Well, so I think social media or the economy in this country's economy, it will cause you to find alternatives. You cannot just depend on one income that comes once in a month. You have to be doing things. I am a student. I'm not in the corporate world yet. I'm a student. I own a food business. I do other things in school that give me money. I even apply to corporate jobs a lot of times. That's because the economy is not smiling. So social media will influence you. Your friend's success will influence you. I think I've seen my friend do bag making, and I was like, oh, you make a lot of money from this. But then it came to me at some point to do it. But I was like, no, this is not something I would like to do. But then there's something about wrong intentions. When you are starting out with the whole idea of, oh, I just want to make money, I just want to make money. My food business, it was because I love to cook, but I wanted to make money too. But you can find the right intention even when starting with the wrong intention. You can find the right intention along the line. So money can be the primary decision, oh, I want to make money. But then along the line, you can now say, oh, I have developed passion for this thing, and it's something I want to pursue long term. Do you understand?
Okay, thank you very much. Our time has been fast spent, but I would just like to drop this with everything that everybody has said here. We all want money, we want financial growth, but please and please do not let social media pressure you, because if you feel too pressured, pressure can mean positive and also negative, but don't rush yourself, and don't also let fear keep you stuck. Don't be stuck. Don't let fear keep you stuck. So thank you very much. This was an amazing section. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Hallelujah. Okay, so that was a beautiful conversation. And I like the segue because we're about to hear from people that are experienced social media professionals. We're about to hear from serial entrepreneurs that have walked this path before. And we're about to learn from a professional, a 9-to-5er. So, somebody said something like 95 people depend on their salary for Jesus. That's why we have a financial session coming up. So that you will learn how to not depend on your month's end. So, I'm here to introduce our panelists for the next session. Firstly, we have Ayodeji Awoshika, who is the founder, CEO, Web3 Bridge, one of the largest in Nigeria. Guys, please let's put our hands together for him. Thank you. Please, let's not be tired. It's a small crowd, so we really need to, keep this going. Up next for the entrepreneur bits, we have Adedipo Adekombi, who is a serial entrepreneur. He's the founder of Food City, founder of Get Care Africa, and a co-founder of Audacity Living. Guys, please, let's put your hands. You don't know the wisdom that we're about to unpack now. Awesome. Up next, also an entrepreneur, we have Prince, all these Yoruba names, God. Prince Adebola Akintoye, founder Belani Foods. Yeah. And last but not the least, a fave of everybody, we have Moshokpe, I'm not going to try your last name, who is a content creator with over 36K followers on Instagram. I can't imagine how many platforms. And guys, last but not the least, to host this beautiful session, we have our very own Peace Joel, who is a social media strategist and content creator.
Thank you so much here for that beautiful introduction. Hello, everybody. Who doesn't have a mic? Okay. There you go, sir. All right. Okay. Oh, hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. You reply now. Good morning. So there's something we do in the tech space, to the glory of God now. I'm in the tech space. So when we say GM, you respond to, you say GM. Do you understand? So GM means good morning to those getting money. I want to believe that everyone here is getting money. I mean, it does not matter how little, but we are making something. So GM, clock it. Say clock it. All right. So before we go straight into today's discussion, last year, we also had something like this, but we had conversations on how to, get into the marketplace. How do we, pick our career path? How do we start? How do we grow? How are we, valuable in the things that we do or in places that we find ourselves? But over, from last year till now, the conversation has shifted. The questions has changed. It is no longer, how do I become a content creator? How do I go into tech? How do I start a business? The questions is more, how do I grow? How do I make money? How do I make something sustainable out of what I'm doing? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into our questions, I want our amazing panelists to kindly introduce themselves. I feel like we already know your names, but for those that did not hear properly, your name, what you do, and how you started. Yes, so let's go from my right to the left. Shokwe.
Hi guys, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think that it's so good to be here. And also good afternoon to my panelists as well. Permit me, Uncle Dipo, I'm a huge fan. huge fan. So yeah, my name is Moshokwe Jojo Maingbe. I like to say child of God with a little touch of Agege. Yeah, so I grew up in Agege and, it has shaped what content is for me. So how did I start? I've always had the thing in me, the funny boy, the craft, I like to talk, I like to crack jokes, and plus, I think that above all, what crowns everything, what I like to call myself, I'm a child of God, really passionate about God's word. Now, I think that the best way we can use our gifts is to use it for the person that gave them to us. So that was what really triggered what content is for me now. So how did I start? I just started. I don't think that there's a framework to start anything that you really want to start. I had the talent. I had a little knowledge on how to navigate myself through the social media space. So I just started. I didn't let... there's this Onyibo Teman so. Yes, Uncle Dipo, you are with me spiritually. So I didn't let analysis lead to paralysis for me, right? I had this thing, all right, let me go for it. And interestingly, I heard one lady saying she's still in school. I started in school. I started when I was in 300 level, right? And I just graduated in January. So it's not... I think that God has really been helpful and stuff. So, yeah, that's how I started.
Thank you so much, Shokbe. So now to the next speaker, before he goes, let me quickly say this. This is my boss. So when he speaks, he claps so that my salary can increase. All right, let's have you, Mr. Ayo.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, everyone on the panel. Now I'm shy, actually. So my name is Ayodeji Aoshika. I'm the lead community manager at Web3 Bridge. What?
Mr. Please use your mic. You said lead. I think you are. Let's not confuse. You said lead community. Let's use the right term. Who are you, sir?
Okay. I'm the founder of Web3 Bridge, and how do I start? I think it's very long ago. I'll find a way to make it short. So I started my ND National Diploma in Business Administration. I wanted to become a banker because my dad was a banker. At some point, I got angry of becoming a banker because bankers were not well treated. So I said no. And I wanted to start my own company. I wanted a job that pays 250,000 naira minimum. That was as far back as early 2000. Then after my diploma, I went to PEFT for a diploma in acting and journalism. Came back. So I ran away from Lagos because all the auditions we went for, they were only paying us about 5,000, 1,000. Nah, that can't carry the kind of life I wanted. Ran back to Ife. Then I got admission. I applied again to do biz admin in TASWED for BSc, but I got home economics and hotel. So I got two options. I got three options, by the way: secretarial administration, secretarial administration, early childhood, and home economics and hotel management. So I decided to choose home economics and hotel management. Why? Because I have interest in cooking. I have a girlfriend who's not my wife that also cooks and bakes. So why not? Interest. So after that, I never wanted to cook professionally. I never wanted to sew clothes professionally. I never wanted to have a daycare professionally. So these are everything I did in my course. So, but while in school, I had a friend who was doing telecommunications. So those were the days of My Freedom, Starcom, Starlink, Multilinks, so this guy did telecoms full time. However, in the area, anytime we need to configure our Symbian phone back then, you remember Symbian and Java configuration? This guy used to teach. So this is a bit don't mind me, I'm actually Gen Z, so a number of people might not understand these things. Back then, this guy would teach me to teach others. So he never configured for me. So I was like, why is this guy always doing this and doing that? But then, so gradually I was shifting into a little bit of tech stuff, understanding how XPSS work and all of those things. So I came into, but I decided I was not going to get a full-time job because I didn't want to be a civil servant. It's not something I wanted. So, because my mom would say, if you want to be a civil servant, you want to get a job. My mom works in Ministry of Labor and Productivity. So, you have to go to Abuja to wait for one. No, that's not what I want. So, I started working as a research assistant to students. I helped a number of persons with their final year project. I did almost about 400, 450 of those across different fields. So, I wanted to start my master's in nutrition. I was like, nah. I already entered blockchain as a community manager and marketer at the time. And I got my first dollar salary. I was like, oh, this is it. So I think that was it for me. And in 2017, that was an experimental year. In 2018, when I decided, okay, so I've been able to receive some money dropped into my hand. How do I make this into something that is professional? So that was what led to then. I was sensitive enough to know when to pivot from being a research assistant, being a community manager, to owning my own company. And that's where we are today. Thank you.
A round of applause. Yes. Hello.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Good to meet and chat with you guys. So how did I start? I think very early on in my life, I always knew that 9 to 5 was not my long-term plan. I also always knew that I was only a player in the band. I was not the composer. So I always knew that God was in charge of my life. And I think the first hard decision that proved that was when I got into Covenant University. I had applied I always wanted to study electrical electronics. I had gotten the course. And then for some reason, I only did not have chemistry in my WAEC and NECO. And there was a call with my mom, a 5-minute call. She was weeping. I'm like, why are you crying? And she's like, oh, you got D. Because we're waiting for the NECO exam. I was already in school. You got D in your NECO, and now you can't study electrical electronics. You have to choose between MIS and estate management. I didn't know both courses. I'm just like, which one is shorter? They're like, estate management is 5 years, MIS is 4 years. I said, I will do MIS. And it was on that call that I chose that course. I had already started, because in the school, you stay with people that study the same course with you. So I was already rolling with the engineering boys. So it was somewhat shameful that you're leaving engineering for a course that was regarded as what everyone does when they don't have an option. But I moved, I packed my things, I moved to the other quarters. And then when I graduated, because MIS is like a level below computer science. So we did a lot of coding, engineering, we did a lot of, we also balanced it with management courses, so banking and finance and accounting. And then when I left, I think I was naturally drawn to tech. So I had started maybe 3 or 4 tech businesses. I'd built like maybe 3 or 4 apps that failed. And yeah, failed woefully. But I think I always had the mindset that God was leading me somewhere. So no failure put me down. I think the biggest one was a mobility solution I and my friends had built. We had gotten approvals from Abuad then. It was supposed to be a mini Uber for university environments. And then we realized that was when we learned the lesson on politics. A lot of people just wanted money out of us. Nobody really cared what problem we're solving. And I remember coming back to my guys that day and I said, look guys, as long as we keep thinking about solutions, there will always be problems. And we'll always keep solving them. And Food City happens to be the first idea that I did not plan out, which is another proof that God is the composer of my life. I'm not the composer. It was the first one that I didn't plan, I didn't have a proposal for, I didn't look for money, for investors, for. My friend was in China, and she was like, oh, Dipo, I'm at this store. They're selling Crocs. Do you like Crocs? At the time, I hated Crocs, because I'm like, they are so ugly. Why would someone put this thing on their feet? They are so ugly. And I was just like, oh, okay, can you send me 50? I remember I had to take a loan. It was 350K. I didn't have the money then. I took a loan from a friend, and then I brought them in. And because I was already so ashamed of many of my failures, she was my girlfriend then, that's my wife there. And like, I was scared to tell even her, because I'm like, this girl must be tired of all my failed businesses. So I brought them in, she didn't know. I took pictures of them in my living room. I opened an Instagram account, I posted them up, and within a week, 50 pairs were gone. And that was how Food City started. And that's been the journey of my life, basically. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello. Hi. Yeah, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is Prince Adibola Akitoye. I'm the CEO of Bella Investment Nigeria Limited. We are presently one of the largest importer of dairy products in Nigeria. Basically, powdered milk, you know, I checked a few days ago, and I think we're the 3rd largest, on the internet.
A round of applause. Yeah. Amazing.
So right now also we Belani Food and Beverages. This is a long time dream of mine. Actually, I started in university. I graduated from Ahmadu Bello University in the year 2000. And throughout my stay in university, when I was, in fact, the first my first school fees and allowance I was given to travel all the way from Lagos to Zaria, I paid my school fees, then the allowance, I said, okay, no, let me just start something, Before then, actually my star was into yogurt production. She makes yogurt in Zaria, bring to Lagos. So I was that period I was, helping her, just seeing how she does things and everything, So I said, okay, let me, I have interest in this. Let me also, try to do this. So I started, we'll go far. Then, there was no insecurities. We'll go to the Fulani, far in the bush, to go and get raw milk, Before my lectures in the morning, I'll go as early as 5 a.m., come back, mix the yogurt, and, just make yogurt, take it to the campus to sell, So I was never broke in school because it was entrepreneurship all my life. So I love to, if I have 1 naira, I want to make it 2 naira. So I save a lot. I like multiplying my money. And after school, I graduated 2000 actually. After school, I said, I started with Leadway Assurance. And that period, they said, okay, we can retain you and everything. I said, how much is the pay? They said, 30K. 30K, I can make it in a second. I said, no, I'm not going to work, let me pursue my dream. I want to be an entrepreneur. So that's the period, most of my mates then, that was when the MTN, Glow, everybody was going for white-collar job. I said, no, I'm going to remain here. I came to Lagos. I stayed with my sister. She gave me a room. I was staying with her there in Nigeria State. She gave me a room. So I was mixing my yogurt in that single room. I will sleep in a room. I will mix. Then with my girlfriend, we'll mix. So my first place, I'm very brave when it comes to business. I'm not scared of any, So the first place I went to market in Lagos was International Airport. And the product without NAFDAC, without nothing, So I went to the arrival. I took my products and I went to Francie Bar, at the arrival. I said, it was an elderly woman that owns the place. I greeted her, she said, I said, this is my product, man. Prior before that time, there was a popular yogurt in the airport in Lagos, dominated everywhere in Lagos. Squints yogurt, I still remember. I said, Mom, this is my product. Who are you working for? I said, by myself. This is my product. Do you have NAFDAC? I don't have NAFDAC, but I have a very good product. She said, you're a young boy. Well, okay, let me assist you. Let me just encourage you. Say, okay, drop 2 cartons. Then I went to the other bar, Eddie King bar, same thing. They were very reluctant, but they just, they were just, okay, okay, just drop some, Then I go back home in the evening and I got a call back. I said, can you supply 10 cartons of that product? The other guy took call, 10. I was excited. Okay, this is the beginning, So that's how I started. And from then it's been, tremendous.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing. So, yeah, it's a lot, it's a lot. So after my school, I forgot to tell you, after my school, my eldest brother, I have about 3 of them in Germany. Then, they're still there, they're currently there, and they were like, okay, now I'm done with school. They don't believe in Nigeria. They don't believe anything can work in Nigeria. They can't give me capital. You understand? So the only thing they can do for me is to also come join them in Germany. And I looked at it, I said, I'm not going anywhere. This country, if I'm traveling, I'll probably be traveling for business or I'll be going on holidays. But I'm not going to relocate from Nigeria because I have passion to make my money here. And today, the story is tremendous.
Awesome.
That's just a summary, It's a lot,
Thank you very much, sir. I hope you guys are already writing because as I'm here like this, the things on my... Anyway, so now let's get into the questions in proper. I'll start from you, Mr. Ayodeji. So as a CEO, obviously, you have a lot of staff. I happen to be one of them. And I believe something. When young people say things like, the corporate world, they don't pay enough salaries and all of that. I keep telling myself, I say, how many things do you know? What skill sets do you have? I know for a fact that like you were saying, you did this and you did that, so you have a lot of skill sets. So my question is, what skill set do you encourage young Christian professionals to have today that will make them relevant in the workspace?
Thank you very much. So as Pastor said when he was talking about, he spoke about boldness, and I'll start from there. So when I got to Lokoja for my NYSC, the first day I went to the local government, I saw a poster by the wall that they're looking for someone to work in an events office. And I called them. I would like to come and help you grow your company. Mind you, I've never been in the corporate world. I don't even understand what it works. But the woman was shocked, like, who is this person that have this kind of boldness to tell me want to come and help me grow my company? And I got there. So she was not there when I got there that day, and I met one guy, but she kept calling the second day. I should resume on Monday. I'm like, why? She was like, the guy was impressed about how I responded and all of those things. So the first thing you need to understand is, see, if you are timid in the workspace, you are not going anywhere. Like the job space, the ecosystem, or whatever I call it. I think we are used to ecosystem on our part. It's not that friendly enough for you not to be bold. In a world of AI where almost everybody can be replaced at this point, genuinely. However, there are some persons that they are hard to let go of because just like, this person is just too good. Now, even when a number of times they might not actually be at their optimal self on that role, but there's a way they carry themselves around the work that gives that kind of I'm not saying. So we are talking about there was a question around there was talk around eye service and all. I'm not referring to eye service. These guys, they know their work. For those that know their work, because you actually have to know your work. However, they interact well. They're not the kind of person that gets angry easily when because you cannot walk somewhere and they will not chastise you sometimes. But some persons, there's some people that they are too gloomy that their gloominess is worse than a rainy day. Like, they wake up every morning, people, everybody is going, every founder, every businessman is going through a bad day to get to work to now see someone that is showing them how their day is looking. At least smile. You are not the devil. You didn't even kill the country. At least smile. Have good skill. Be in that room where everybody in your office can say, oh, this person is a good person. I lost a friend 2 Mondays ago, and we didn't become so close. But I just kept telling my wife that there's nobody who is my friend today that can replace this guy. It was buried on a Thursday, and the whole place was full. This guy he's 34. The place was full, and nobody in that room, in that place, had any bad things to say about him. It's not because he's the perfect person. However, he has some bad days. An Arsenal fan, unfortunately for him.
Arsenal fan.
Unfortunately for him, oh, sorry. I didn't mean to throw shade. Today is not a shade day. However, so what I'm trying to say is at least be that person that people can be reliable. Very important. Reliable. Very, very be reliable means that they can trust that if you are committing something to your hand, it can't go bad. Even when you don't know how to do it, you figure it out. Mm-hmm. Because every employer wants someone that is reliable. Everybody wants because every employer has a day when they just want to just rest and let people figure this out. Yeah. Now they don't want to get to start teaching you how to do your job at every point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ayo. Be reliable. Be like my president. If you see my president anytime, any day, I don't care the bad day that she's having. If she does not know you, she's always smiling. So again, your skills matter, but like you said, your interpersonal skills, they also matter. So my next question now is to you, Dikpo. You had to take loan to start buy the crocs and all of that. So for young entrepreneurs in the house that wants to start a business or say they need to produce about 10, 5 or 50 products, but they do not have the capital to start, how should they go about getting capital for their businesses?
Thank you. So can you guys hear me? Sorry. Thank you. I think I was having a conversation with someone last year, and they're talking about how they would never take a loan for their business. This is someone who has had a fashion business for she started business before me, and she's of the opinion that credit ruins your business. And I'm like, okay, who do we regard as our mentors in the business space today? Dangote, right? They sing his name everywhere. Otedola. Now, these men have, if anything happens to Dangote today, a lot of banks will cry in Nigeria. And they will cry because there is a lot of debt. So I joined Stanbic. Stanbic was where I started my professional career. I worked in the branch, I worked in IT, I worked in commercial banking. I also worked as a product manager before I left. And when I worked in commercial banking, that was when I realized that, look, the biggest people that will look at the biggest industries, they thrive on credit. So if you are here and you have the mindset that your entire life you will never have to take a loan in your business or personally, I think you should let that go. Dangote, as at the time I was there, we're processing loans of more than $20 million for Dangote. Loan, yeah. So, and that is what powers his business. The entire what they call it, the refinery today, and then the entire refinery is financed by loans. And banks can give him a loan because they know that he will repay. So your mindset is really what controls what you can take as a business owner. The first loan I took was from a friend. She was in Stanbic, but she would give people quick loans, right? She was a teller, but she had access to people that needed quick loans. So you could get 100K, pay 5% interest in a month. And I needed that loan because my salary had not come in. And Temi trusted me. She knew that there was no way that I would default. Even in my business, from the beginning, from year 2, because to expand, like I said, in 1 week, we had sold 50 pairs. In the first 6 months, I think we had grown the business from that 350K to over 40 million in revenue. Yeah. So there's no way. What that does to you is it pushes you to expand quickly. People were on our Instagram, were responding to messages till 3 a.m. At some point, we had about 8 people managing only Instagram because there were over 600 messages daily. So when your customers are pushing you, that's your sign to expand. Where did I get my next big check? It was my neighbor. He would come out in the morning and he would see us sending out like 50, 60, 70 deliveries in the morning. And it's like, what's inside this nylon? I'm like, oh, it's Crocs. So it's like, those rubber shoes. People really like it this much, and they'll pay that much. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh, Dipo, meet me upstairs. Let's talk. And then he gave us a 2 million naira check. That was the first time I'd sold equity in my business. We sold 5% of Food City for 2 million naira. So would you always need credit to expand? Yes. And when you are building, please build with a global mindset. Don't say, I'm already eating. I'm making 100,000 per month and I'm good. No, God wants you to do more. And if you need credit to do it, do it. As long as you know that you have the right mindset and that your business can support and repay those loans.
A round of applause. I feel like people have questions. I have a follow-up question, but I'm going to come back to that. So now to you, Mr. Prince. By the way, I have tested Belani foods and they are so good. I want to ask, now for a lot of young people that at some point, like recently, I was thinking about going into like bag business, like selling bags and all of that. But because I didn't have a lot of capital, I was thinking, what if I start with like bags of lower quality, bags that will sell for 15K, 20K and all of that. So I want to know, when you started your business, did you prioritize quantity over quality based off of capital?
This is a very good question. Yeah, you see, like I told you, I moved from Zaria to Lagos. In my business, what I try to do is to do it better than any other person. So I don't, quality, it's not compromise for me. You know, I go for the best. You know, I started very small. I started very organic. Very, very, my growth is very, very organic. There's no bank in this country that will tell you. They come every day. If you have some, they come every day to the office. You understand? Come and take loan, come this. I'm just trying to, you understand? When I start my business, you know, I'll make sure if I'm selling, if I'm going to there was a time when I started, I go to the market, I buy 1 kg. I start with 1 kg of milk. I'll buy this pet bottles. I'll buy 4. You understand? I'll buy 12. I'll buy very little. But I make sure that next time I'm buying more. You understand? So the growth was kind of organic, you know. So I kept daily, you know, I was improving. And I was also learning on the job. I was getting better. You understand? So that was a growth for me, you know. So it was really, you know, organic, steady, and I was understanding the business more. You understand? Then you asked about the quality. My yogurt then, for me to displace the best yogurt in Lagos then, which was Queen's yogurt. In fact, they stopped selling at the international airport. My quality was top-notch. Wow. So whatever you are doing, you understand, what makes you, if you want to be rich in this country, I always tell people, number one, do something that nobody is doing. Okay, recently we came up with a product, this orange, organic, orange. It's organic, purely organic. I look at, everybody's tired of these fizzy drinks, you know, sugar, you know, carbonated drinks. People want organic product. Okay, this is the need for Nigeria. And this dream has been 15 years ago. When I served it in Benue State, you know, Makurdi, you know. So then, anywhere I find myself, I'm a survivor. Then I'll go to the bush. I'll go get, a sack of orange then was about 1,000 naira. So I'll bring it, I'll squeeze it with my hand. You understand? Then take it to the local restaurant. I was making 500% profit at that time. So it's a dream. I said, okay, now, I know about orange production. So I reintroduced it 2 years ago here in Lagos. Because I would say we're about the only, you understand, company that right now that is doing it in commercial, Belani orange juice. It's organic. You understand? So if you try it, you see this is different from every other product in the market. You understand? So that's the niche. That's, you know, so and it's been wonderful
Thank
in
you
the
so
market.
much, Mr. A round of applause. So I feel like that balances what Mr. Diko has said.
Yeah.
So in cases where you cannot maybe take loan, you can start like 1, 2. So guys, we are getting somewhere. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
Now to you, Shokbe Man. I was going to bring up, find somebody say, how would I change my name from Prince Joel to? Let's leave that for later. So let's talk. I'm a creative, right? And I feel like sometimes a lot of creatives believes that your talent is enough. Like, I'm saying enough in the sense of making money. It begins to put food on your table. But over the years, it has proven to be a lie. I had to actually go into like the corporate to get like a job that gives me something every month because it felt like being a creative was not working. So my question is to you: how do creative make a sustainable income from just being a creative? Because everybody wants to be social media and wants to be doing TikTok. Aside from the whole follow on TikTok live, tap, send me gift, send me lion. How do creative actually make money?
Wow.
Wow.
Do I look like I'm already making plenty money? I look it.
You do actually.
So, let me start like this. You see this thing, it is frying our brains. It is frying our brains in the sense that it promises us immediacy. This thing, it promises us immediacy. Like I was telling my sister yesterday, all I have to do to solve your money problem, if you have a money problem, is to just open my phone and make a transfer. Immediately, your money problem is gone. Like, you can be a broke person this second, and the next second, you are a millionaire. It's just a second. Do you understand? Now, it is rewiring your mind to think in a certain way, such that when you now venture into anything, you are expecting immediate results. I hope I understand what I'm saying. So, there's a way you now see content creator. For example, you just look at Lai. Low GL. GL, you want to black, you to be, you shine. Let me start content. And then you think in 1 year, you want to mama wa GL. Honestly, it's not like that. It's not. Personally, I honestly think that not just content, whatever it is that you want to venture into as a person, I don't think that money should be the center of your focus. Because if it is, you can start genuinely. But then in the long run, you will lose your message. You can, for example, I'm a Christian creative. I make Christian videos. I say this thing every time. If you make positioning, visibility, all those things, the top of your mind, above your message, you see that you are no more talking about Jesus. You are talking about how to be a better content creator. That was never what you started with in the first place. So please, it's quite difficult, honestly. I'm not going to lie. Because of the fluidity of that space. It is over the last 2 weeks, I have observed that sometimes it's not even the amount of followers that you have that gets you money. This is I don't want to go into some details now because it's one of the, in fact, let me say this week. I did some things this week and I looked at myself, I looked at my other guys that were in the same field and they are not doing these things that I'm doing. They are not getting these gigs that I'm getting. These guys have ×2 of my followers. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it means it's not by followers. It's not by your content ability. If it comes, it comes. So don't honestly, genuinely, especially with this field, because it is very, very tricky. It can also come. It can come. It can come that in a week you are working with like 5 brands. Do you get? It can happen like that. But then what I'm saying is, please grow. Grow. Like be your stuff. You will now find out that somebody that you start watching this person because of the message that you get from the person. And then whenever you go to their page, you're just seeing brand deals. Brand deals. There's no more organic content. There's no more content. Yeah. Because all that is there is brand deals, brand deals, brand deals. And the person that you are doing the content, you will not have a problem with it because that's the mindset that you have. That was what you were looking for in the first place. That was what took you there. So please, honestly, if you have to mix 9 to 5 with your career, please do it. Do you understand? It's not a crime. You know, I've had to re-engineer my mind over the last 2 weeks to understand that 9 to 5 is not a sin. Honestly, like, people are even building wealth with this thing. Do you get? So Uncle Dikpo made a very, very important point. Your mind, that's what really controls everything. Because honestly, which is where I'm going to round up, wealth, income, sustainability, finance, as it were, it is very, very relative. What is okay for me might not be okay for you. Now, let me be honest with us, all of us, including me. I am trying to rise and look above the sun for understanding. We are too greedy. We base our lives off greed. Honestly, I'm a Bible boy. The Bible says that having food and raiment, let us be content, because we brought nothing into this world, and definitely we will take nothing. Sometimes as a creative, when you start out, the money that you are making is enough for you at that point that you are. It is genuinely enough. It is enough. Do you understand? It's when you Mr. Macaroni, Range Rover. Oh boy, you could upgrade, you could scale up, you could. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Yes, okay. So it is financially profiting. I'm not going to lie, I have seen it. But then please, making it the focal point of why you are doing this thing, you will lose it. You will lose yourself. You will lose yourself. I hope.
A round of applause for Shoket. All right. So now back to you, Mr. Ayo. Because today we are not having you speak as a founder. We are having you speak as an employer, right? As young people looking to go into like the corporate space, already in the corporate space. So I have a question, and it says, how do you know when it's time to stay in a company and grow, or leave for better opportunities?
Okay, so this question is a bit tricky. I will share my experience directly so that maybe as I'm sharing my experience, you can understand better. 2019, I left an organization because we had an issue. It's a global organization. I've worked remotely all my life. Like I've never had to go to a physical office all my life, except until I got an office myself. I was working in this company, and we're actually heading to a point where they're about to raise their funds. And for those that understand the cryptocurrency Web3 ecosystem, like they're already speaking with all the big brands, and so the founder is actually my friend, and he's an Indian guy. He told me, Ayo, we're going to make money. I'm trying to find the accent. He said, so 2 things are going to happen when we raise this money. Is it that we raise the money and do well, or we don't raise money and go broke? So the week before they raised their money, so I was already working on my company, but it was not big at all. There was no physical office, nothing that was happening at the time. I told my wife, I said, it's time to leave this company. And she was like, it was very crazy. Because I think my salary at the time was around $200. And I was already heading to a point where I could earn more. Like I know my salary would not be less than $3,000. And I have a 2.5% stake in the company. So I told my wife, I said, it's time to leave. And she was like, why do you mean it's time to leave? I said, okay, let me analyze for you. Because if they deceive me, I don't deceive myself. This company is about to raise money, which means they're about to have a lot of external forces control the activity of the company. Personally, my role and my job is the most easily displaced in the company. Mind you, myself and the founder and the wife, who happened to be the co-founder, have been working on that company for 2 years. They knew, oh, this person had a very excellent work rate. Everything was excellent for them. However, now raising money means they don't own the company anymore, like directly. Or indirectly, rather. So then, fortunately, after that conversation, that week, I stumbled into a Slack channel when they were already discussing that the VCs who were supposed to raise the money was already checking our LinkedIn to see who among the employer and the stakeholder is doing something else by the side. Which means we are going to get into a critical meeting where they decide you have to either choose us 100% or leave where you are. So I just told myself, one morning after the stand-up on Monday morning, oh, Ash, it's time to leave. I'm like, no, Ayo, if you leave, if you are saying you're home, me, I'm leaving. Because, okay, so let me paint the direct picture. I was a community manager and I assist with marketing. This company is purely technical. Now, so if I decide to pivot easily, I'll pivot into a functional QA or a product manager. Now, the co-founder already has 8 years experience as a product manager in big tech companies before joining the husband to found the company. So which means if I decide to pivot to PM, I'll be an assistant PM. Now, I'm going to be collecting salary and equity. So which means I need to do more. So then if I decide to pivot into a technical role, maybe a technical content, whatever, technical, whatever, or a developer, whatever I'm pivoting to means I need to grow into it, which means I'm still like that person that is being able to tune out. So that's why I bounced. Now, so I bounced at the right time. Fortunately for me, the reward for bouncing early came, and I'm still enjoying it today. So it would have been worse for me if I had stayed and they have told me, oh, Ayo, you see, at this point. So I believe that if you work in a place and you are not, like, I don't want to use the word feel. You discover that you are not operating at an optimal level. It might be better so that you keep the relationship with the company than, you see, at this point, we want to advise you to leave. So, one truth, personally, that I owe to myself is till today, I don't lie to myself. I'm a man of faith, I grew up in the church, like, my faith journey is crazy that I've experimented a lot of things with faith. In fact, I won't say I'm a disciple of Hagin, but at least I've studied all the books that Hagin have produced on faith. But when it's time to be logical about myself, it's time to leave this place. We ran into something in my office recently. I've not even announced to the team, but now I'll just say it so that they will still not understand. I'll just brief it. Like, something was about to happen. Okay, we had a meeting in May. Okay, look, you can remember, we had a meeting in May, and I told them, see, we're all going to lose our job if we don't pivot now.
Yeah, true, I remember that.
Now, because it's true. Now, the event I predicted then didn't happen until last month. I predicted it in May 2025. So it means as an employee working in a company, you need to every day or every week analyze your results with the company's or the KPIs I set for you. Oh, okay, how well am I doing? Okay, I'm not doing so well in this point. Can I? Oh, okay. Now, if I'm not doing so well, how do I get better at it? Oh, okay, I'm doing well. How can I do more? Because at the end of the day, every employer wants more, whether they pay you more or not. So is that how do I get to that point where I'm okay, or how do I do more? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think we have something to say.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to chime in because I think I've had scenarios like this in my career. And I think everyone here, if there's nothing you take from this conversation, I think at the end of this conversation, if you don't already have, please find a picture of what you want the end of your life to be. Find, after this meeting, if you don't already know, find a picture of what you want the end of your life to be. When you're at your deathbed, who do you want around you? What do you want to be remembered for? Because many of us are on a journey that we have no destination for. And like he said, if money is your destination, imagine somebody in 2023 that said that in 2025, I just want to be able to make 500K. In 2023, it would have been, you're going to be so big, so rich. But 2025, with 500K, you can't raise a family. So many things can change. And that's the beauty about the Word of God. It stays the same. And you want to first find your purpose in this life. Like I said, you are just a player in the band. You are not the composer. You are just a player in the band. So whatever it is that you do that does not eventually result in you pushing the gospel of Jesus Christ, you have ended up a failure. You can make tons of billions in this life, and at your deathbed, you'll be filled with regrets. So please find a picture. Who do you want to be as a man? What do you want to be remembered as a father? What do you want to be remembered as a husband, as a brother? That is your focal point. Yes.
As a sister.
As a mother, as a sister. Yes. right? That should be your focal point, and that's what will determine what your decisions will be based on. And I'll talk about maybe 2 or 3 decisions I've made in my life. When I was at Stanbic, now I joined Stanbic because, one, the first time I walked into Stanbic was when I went to collect my employment letter. I didn't know the bank. I was not a customer. Sure, then there were rumors that Stanbic was only for rich people. So I didn't even imagine that I could ever work at Stanbic. I got the job, I walked in, and then working in the bank allowed me to do the things that I really wanted to do. I always knew somehow. I lost my dad really early, and I say that I believe truly that God is the father of the fatherless, because many of the decisions I made in my life were not consistent with my environment. I didn't have uncles as mentors. I didn't have good friends to look up to. But I just always heard somebody whisper how to do right. Now, I got an offer in my second year in Stanbic from GT Bank. It was going to triple my salary. But I got the offer and I'm like, I can't take this job because it is not consistent with the life I want to live. I had a sense of I had a GT Bank account. I had friends in GT that will resume in the morning at 7 and cannot close till 7, 8 p.m. I'm like, this will not allow me to do business because that is my calling. So I didn't take the offer. If it was money, I would have gone to GT. When I left, when it was time to leave Stanbic, how did I know? I realized that my role at Stanbic was becoming redundant. I needed to learn something new. So I started learning product management. It was very new. I didn't have all the knowledge. I just scooped everything I could find on YouTube. I joined product management in Stanbic, and then I would push ideas that were, the ideas I pushed in Stanbic in 2021, they are just now implementing it. And I knew, no, if I'm in a place where I know that there's obvious change and I cannot make it and I don't have the tools, and it became to a point where you have to play politics, you have to go and beg somebody to make, I'm like, oh, this is the time to leave. That's what informed my leaving Stanbic. I joined InterSwitch. InterSwitch was my dream job. But within 3 months, I left. Why? Because I'm like, I needed a job that would allow me half time at home. I could not drive mainland to island. I don't like living on the island. I'm a mainland person because I don't think there's peace of mind there. So like, I joined and they said it was a virtual job. I joined and he said I have to be driving to work 3 times a week. I'm like, no. So when Credit Direct called and they're like, I didn't even know Credit Direct. They said, you're in Isaac John, no problem. Can you pay me this amount? Can you match my salary? I packed my load and I left. Because at that point, my goal was stability, to be able to build what God had put in my hands. Now, when it was time to leave CDL, why did I leave CDL? I needed to be a family man. Nobody knew. A lot of people didn't know that I was juggling Food City and a 9-to-5. No, most people didn't know that I was a product. Most of my friends didn't even know I was the owner of Food City. I was hiding for a long time because I had a 9-to-5. When did I know it was time? CDL was paying me amazing money. When I said I wanted to leave, the CEO offered me money that I had never been offered in my life. He offered me money personally, offered to invest in my businesses that I had not even kicked off. But I said, it is time for me to be a father. My son is about to be giving birth, so I need to be there as a husband and a father. And that's why I left. So your focal point is what will always guide your decisions today. So please just have that picture, and it will guide you right always. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys, your book should be full at this point. So Mr. Prince, I have a question. I want to ask, right, how, let's say in times where your business are not doing, for entrepreneurs, in times where your business are not doing so well. Now, I want you to look at it from this point, from 2026. Right? How difficult it is to get capital, how difficult it is to like live life as a young person in the present Nigerian economy. So let's say in that period of time, or in this period, your business is not doing so well. Sales are not coming in. What do you do?
Yeah, so in business, it's not always fantastic, but for business, you really need to, there's this thing you need to have, you need to persevere, you need a lot of patience. In business, to be honest with you, there are times where, I was giving a story. I came to Lagos, and the business failed again. I had to leave Lagos, went back to Kaduna. I started doing laundry again. I still refuse to travel out. You understand? I don't give up. Honestly, I don't give up. I don't give up. In school, when I was in school, there are a lot of stories. I was in school then, ABU. Even before the yogurt. Business, I was doing poultry, see from the money I got from my upkeep, I was able to buy maybe 20 pullets, I wanted to go into poultry, so I fed this pullet for almost, 6 months. They were black layers, so at that point, I didn't have enough information that those black layers actually
don't lay so early. So at 6 months, no, 5 months, something, they were not laying eggs. I said, okay, so it was salad time. I said, let me just sell them off. I was, Then the next day, I went to the market to get back, to get my payment. And 2 of these chicken, they started laying, they dropped. And I wept. I said, wow, what kind of decision did I make? So it's a lesson for me. So I don't give up. There are a lot of businesses where I start and it doesn't work out. I fail, I move on. So there are challenges in the business, but you just have to keep going in business, to be honest. And success will definitely come. You don't expect it. Don't change business. Because I'm doing this, okay, let me do another one. Keep doing what you know how to do best. Success will come. As a young entrepreneur, when I was young, there's no exhibition in Lagos or anywhere that I don't go to when it comes to food. And that was my breakthrough. That's my breakthrough. I go to Landmark, I go to different kind of exhibitions just to get more knowledge, to get connection. You understand? And after some time, I started going to exhibition in Dubai. You understand? I don't miss this golf food in Dubai every year. I go, and that was where I got even, the last, I think 5 years ago, I was there, I was in Dubai, and I was going around and everything. I was still a small importer then, 5, 6 years ago. And I entered, I think Melwick Holland Baby. And I'm like, which country are you from? And these people, they are always interested in Nigeria. They want to do business for Nigeria because of our population. And I said, I'm from Nigeria. Nigeria, please, they give me a special seat. Please. We want a distributor of our products in Nigeria. And that was it. I didn't have much capital, but I was very determined. I was determined, like, no. And I was very honest, faithful to them. I don't owe them. You understand? They give me a product, I sell, I send back the money and everything, with 1 container. And now we're at 30 containers monthly. So that's why I said, you can, as a young person, I don't believe in, starting too big. Just start small. Loan is good, yes, actually. You understand? But when you look at the percentage, take 30% from here and everything. At the end of the day, you see, we're just working for these people. But just start small and grow in the business. And somehow, I have a lot of people right now, they'll come, please, I want to invest in your business. Now, they do shakara now. Banks come, if you know it, banks come every day to my office, to my factory. Come, let's facilities. Come and take BOI. Come, I said, I don't want. It's my policy. And my growth is organic, and I want it to remain. I want to have peace of mind. And it's been fantastic. So when I say, come, start small. Don't start eyeing. You see me using a big car or something. It didn't just start like that. Yeah. You understand? if you use anything, I don't get, mine will come. So just start small and let it just be organic. Just know it as youth. You understand?
A round of applause, please. This is power packed. This session is power packed. So finally, because of our time, Shokbe, I have one last. So I'm going to ask you like a 2-in-1 question because of our time. As a creative, how are you a creative? Like, how do you maintain being a Christian creative, not compromising your faith, but you keep getting offers that makes you seem like, you might have to like compromise your faith a little bit. Because the truth is, the big boys, let's use that term, the big boys are going to invite you out because in the corporate space, I've heard network, be at places these people are and all of that. So in cases where we cannot be in the places that these people are, how do we remain Christian creative and not compromise our faith? And secondly, how is it wrong for creatives to charge? Because now it's become, I'm honest, it's a very serious problem. You hear people saying,
creatives or Christian creatives to charge?
Christian creatives. Okay. Is it wrong for us to charge? That's my question.
Okay, let me start from the second question. Christian creatives, please charge you. I charge you. Eh? The only thing I don't charge for is things like this. I don't charge to, whenever I'm invited to come and speak about Jesus, I will never charge you for it. Because how much did I pay him to, put his life in me? So I don't charge for that. But then any other thing, whatever creative thing, because remove the Christian, Okay, probably that will lead me into the second question. Remove the Christian, you are still a creative. And now one of the mindsets I want us to have about Christian creativity is, when we eventually get to the judgment seat of God, God is not going to judge you as a creative. They don't know what they don't know creative in heaven. It's life. They are dealing in life in heaven. They don't know creative. So whenever you have to do any creative work whatsoever, please charge. Now, how do you remain relevant?
Yes.
As a creative, especially as a Christian creative, and not bend? So this is the idea. Thank you for asking this question. I really wanted to talk about this thing whenever I get the opportunity. So, Paul was talking to Timothy in, I think it was 1 Timothy. He said, my son, give heed to the words that you are listening to. For these words will save you and save the people that are hearing you. As a Christian creative, you are on your process of being saved as well. You are not an absolute, such that the work of God in your life has finished. So you can now go about doing whatever you want to do. No. So give it to the words that is saving you and will save the people that are hearing you. So when you have this mindset that, me that I'm talking about Jesus, me if I still need Jesus, it would help you, live the life. I was listening to a sermon this morning, which is where I'm going to wrap it up. The Bible says that the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Now, the testimony is the life. Jesus' life. Okay, Acts chapter 1. It says all these things which Jesus began to do and teach. Jesus was not teaching anything that he was not doing. So as a Christian creative, you should not pass any message that you are not living.
A round of applause. Clap. Come on, clap.
So when you have this mindset that even me, I am being saved, it would help you to live your creative life. Or let me use it like this, because slowly but gradually the Lord is putting me in that space. Your influencer life. It will help you live it with reverence and fear of God. There are some things that you would not do because you fear God. And that fear will come out of a place of, I am still being saved. Fear is a knowledge. David was talking in Psalms. He said, come, my children, let me teach you the fear of God. So when you know that I am releasing a particular message through creativity, even me, I need that message. It will help you realize that at the end of the day, my life is not about the influence that I'm trying to build. My life is for the audience of God that has sent me this work. So whatever I will do that will not please God, don't let me do it. I'm not going to do it. All things were made for thy pleasure. All things, including that creative work. So whatever it is that you are doing that you know that this thing will not please God, please don't do it. That's why I said when you ask me the first question, especially, you see, I even like to say that let other creatives in the secular space, let them be looking for money. Your reason for going into the creative space as a content creator, as a storyteller, whatever it is that you are doing, is to pass the message of Christ to the people. The message that is saving you and will save other people as well. So nothing should corrupt that. Nothing. I tell the people close to me every time, I try as much as possible not to be too brand focused. I'm not trying to build a brand. I'm trying to live a life. So I try not to be too brand focused such that every time what you are thinking about is how do I position myself well for opportunities? How do I do this? So that you get better opportunities? Meanwhile, forgetting the message that you are trying to preach. So you find out Christian creatives, you go to their page, you are not being edified. You are just learning how to position yourself better for brand deals. So why you just remove the Christian from your destiny? I come up with influencer.
A round of applause, please. Thank you so much. This has been a really amazing session. We are wrapping up the session, but
yeah, this is it.
Okay,
to the teaching, you will save both yourself and the people that are hearing you. So even you yourself, Timothy was a high guy. Honestly, is a huge thing to have learned under Paul. So even with all his stature in the spirit, Paul was still telling him that she needs saving. So do we understand?
Thank you so much. So one final question. So this question is for everybody. I'm going to start from Mr. Prince, right? So the question is, for the young people sitting here today, what...
So I'm young.
Okay, yes, that was actually very... Oh, Mr. Edward, you are Gen Z. Okay, to all of us in the hall today, what advice would you give to young people on how to thrive in the marketplace? So for entrepreneurs, for employers, people that work in the corporate space, and for creative. So let's take it from Mr. Prince.
Okay. Firstly, first step actually as an entrepreneur is actually to have a vision. Then it's very important for you, to develop yourself and also identify a problem as an entrepreneur and how to solve that problem. For instance, I mentioned the juice just started. We realized, even me, I don't take frizzy drinks anymore.
That juice is nice.
Yeah, I wanted to, even outside here, I was like, what can I take? Because I was thirsty. I would just take water or maybe organic, it's a problem. It's a problem already, like, okay, so how do we solve? And that's why you look at, you understand, to invest. Or don't do what is trendy. Oh, this. Just try. Think outside the box. Be innovative. Look at something special. You understand? Don't do what everybody's doing. Nigeria, I always tell people, Nigeria is a virgin land. You see all these Indians, they come around. I know they tell you everything. Nigeria is a lot of things don't be done in Nigeria. Honestly, there's so many opportunities. So many opportunities in Nigeria, even especially in the food industry. If you travel abroad, you go to all these supermarkets, you see hundreds of juice, different. How many apart from Chivita do we know in Nigeria? And so a lot of that don't be done. So sit down, identify, just check. How can I create? How can I solve problems? How, what are the needs of people? I'm in the food industry.
Yeah.
You understand? If I want to do things, I do things that are special. The other time I looked at, we don't have French fries in Nigeria. You understand? We import. You understand? I like to do things that are not common. I went to China. It was a mistake, actually, because getting machineries from China, you understand, for production, it's actually a big mistake. You understand? So I set it up. I set a factory up, everything. Okay, I want to be the first to actually produce French fries in Nigeria. I didn't look at, okay, is the raw material actually available in Nigeria? It's not available. And secondly, what's the name? The machineries I bought, you understand, they were not too, they can't give me very good, quality. You understand? But, I tried all I can. I didn't lose hope. Those machineries, I turned into something else. You understand? I started producing frozen because I have a blast freezer. You understand? So I was doing frozen plantain and I was supplying Chicken Republic. You understand? So I'll just find a way. I don't lose hope. So, yeah, so, you just create, there are a lot of things. For the frozen plantain I told you, it's just only one company that is doing it in the whole of Nigeria. You understand? And I happen to be the second. You understand? And they are Indians. So there are a lot of things that have not been done in Nigeria. And we keep complaining. There is no, you understand? The issue, okay, well, fine, issue of capital. Okay, I want to start a business. I don't have money. As youths now, I want to challenge you. If I give you 3 million naira now, can you make it 4 million naira in 4 months?
You are saying yes.
You understand? Most of you, they will say there's no capital. There's no capital. Okay, the 100,000 that you have right now, can you make it 110,000? Do you understand? So you need to develop yourself. There's need.
The heavens and the earth. And on the last day, what happened? He said he looked at it and he recognized that it was good. So God delights in your work. When he made man, the first thing he gave him was work. The Hebrew word used for work there, I learned that it actually means worship as well. So your work is very spiritual. When you go to work and you have a line manager to report to, and you know that you are not giving your best, you are disappointing God. Even if your line manager is wicked. I'm sorry, let me add that. You must, in every environment, act as if you are delivering work to God. And that, from that, excellence will flow and success will come.
Thank you so much. A round of applause.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm just going to build on what have been said so far. I think we are in a world where we are easily carried away by trends. And okay, let's say the entire scope of the world actually been built around trends. There was a time where parents want their children to be doctors and bankers and lawyers. There was a time they were like, they don't want them to be. Now everybody wants to be like, we are talking about social media and everything now because like that's what pays the bills. However, our life should not be about what pays the bills. Like he said, who are you? What's your identity? What do you want to be remembered for? So let's not follow trends like, oh, yeah, because everyone is making money here. See, there's a way that cement writes, right? I won't say more than that. Then the second thing I'm going to add is value. See, if your entire growth plan is to be valuable, you will not lack substance.
I say the right thing. People are just looking.
Like, okay, okay, let me just quickly do like, I'm sorry, I'm taking time. When we started Web3 Bridge, our first plan was to go get a physical space on the island. Like him, I never liked the island, like never. My fear was, how do you put a school in Ikorodu that become a global school? I came to the ferry terminal here to get an office. When I left the place, I looked at the bill, I was like, okay, so what happens if the fund stops? Can you pay this bill? And I like, God, I hand it over to you. I need a space. Then the Saturday, I heard that there's an opening in my street. I said the man closed the building for 3 years. And he just recently came on Friday to tell them that they need to rent it to a school or an hospital. And I got there like, this is my place. I went to meet the man. I said, sir, no, this is my place. I can't pay this amount that you told me. And he's like, okay, don't worry. I will remove the money for you. I'm started there. Now, the value we build in that place, we've received foreign students. In fact, till today, there's no foreigner in our field that is close to our operation that will come and will not come to Ikorodu to come and see. So, apart from, we want to make money. However, if your goal is value, the value will bring the substance and you grow from there. Thank you very much.
A round of applause, please. Finally.
All right, so I think that as a Christian creative, I have to narrow it down, like staying relevant and all. Please, can we put Hebrews 12:2? So that's just what I'm going to say.
Hebrews 12:2.
Hebrews 12, verse 2. Yeah. So before it comes up, the essence, you are doing whatever you are doing as a creative for to push the faith more and more, for to get people to come to more knowledge of the faith of the Son of God. That's the whole essence of you being a Christian creative and being in the social media space. So it says, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. So every time, in every moment, the only way is that you keep your eyes on Jesus. And that way you would remain relevant across board. Yeah.
Can we please stand up and give a round of applause to our panelists? Thank you so much. No, we are not done. I don't think I just deserve a round of applause. That outstanding. Thank you so much. So before we wrap up, we're going to take questions. Time is fast spent, so we're going to take questions for just 5 minutes. Please, if you have more questions, you can maybe meet them personally. So if you have a question, your hand. So on, okay.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. My question is for Prince, and also request to Uncle Digbo. All right, so the question is, I found out that there is, you just decided to, we young people, I eat money now.
You what? We can't hear you.
If I get good funds, I'm going to leave it to like fast. But you've made it and you still chose to stay. And also, wait, before I forget, that 3 million that you said you want to, you can try it on, don't worry. So why did you choose that? And my special request is, please sing for us before you go.
Sing for amazing. Okay, all right.
So that's a very good question. You know, I moved into Ikorodu about 10 years ago. Yeah, about 10 years ago. Not like I couldn't afford to stay on the island. But I came to Ikorodu, you know, as a tenant. You know, because it's actually, you know, a place where I can easily grow. At the point when I was living in Ikorodu, I had even friends that was sponsoring even to live, you know, outside Ikorodu. You understand? So I wanted to just, like I always say, start small. You understand? Start small. You know, at the right time. People say, what are you doing? You understand? At the right time. You understand? Things will change. I don't live in Korea anymore. I moved to Obudu just last December. At the right time, I moved. You know, I know what it means to actually live there, you know. So, I don't believe in, what's wrong with Ikorodu? Is it a bad place to stay? Is it a bad place to stay?
What are you going to do outside?
It's not far. It's not far. So, I love to start small. You understand? I built my empire, everything here in Ikorodu. You know, so I came to Ikorodu with nothing. But right now in Ikorodu, I know what I have in Ikorodu. You were there at the factory, so you can testify.
And I should be coming more often.
Yeah, so so when it was right time for us to also, move out, we did
Thank
the right
you so
time.
much.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have the thing to wrap up. So, any other question? Who has a question? Okay, same time. We can't hear you. I said fine. We have 2 minutes left for a question and answer.
Okay, so my question is, I'm a person that likes learning new things. I like learning new things. I also started a TikTok. I opened my own first TikTok page. But I am also the kind of person that is not consistent in things. So my dream is to not work with people. I want to work for myself. And my dad has actually made me learn tech and stuff like that. But I'm not always consistent in it. But I try to know it. So I started crocheting like last year, December. And within 4 months, I can say I'm good at it. Most people that have learned crocheting has not done things that I have done within like the few months I have. And I know that my product is good. I want to start my business. But my only fear is, how will I push myself forward? I have everything I need. If you say I should bring you certain amounts of, I make plushies. You can put on your clothes. I have one. I have a plushie I can bring you. But like, my fear is, I am young. I'm just entering uni. But how will I push myself forward for people to buy my product? And how will I make people want to buy things from me? So like, that's basically mine.
I think Nicole can take that.
All right, thank you, and well done. It's not easy to create stuff, especially as a young person in this country. So credit for that first. And I would say, start from where you are. Your first customers usually are the people around you. Your family, your parents, your friends. And by customer, I don't mean your first paying customers. So if you also start a business and you expect that your friends will be the first to buy, you might be disappointed. I had when I shipped into Crocs from China, I had it in my living room for maybe about 7 days while I was shooting the content. I had friends walk in, look at it, oh, this is so nice, and they will not buy. So don't also get discouraged when your friends don't want to pay for it. What you need from your immediate environment is validation. What's the true quality of this thing? If I asked you to put money on this, how much would you pay? So do those surveys. And I think your biggest advantage in Papa's time, I think the same way that when he said he was the first person to implement the internet for banking, that is huge. That is huge. It is the same way that AI has come and everybody is fidgeting. I'm sure that in the bank then, there were people that would have hated him because they're like, this guy is coming to take our jobs. Right? So it's the same way. I think that our biggest advantage as business people today is AI. What AI has done is, you in Ikorodu today have the same access to information that somebody in the US does. So please, don't use ChatGPT. Use Claude, and you don't have to pay. Use Claude AI and ask questions about things that you don't know. I need you to play the role of a global CEO that has a crochet business. How would you position the market in a university that you're about to go to, right? And you'll get answers. I promise you. You get better answers than I will give you. But the first thing you need to do is make sure that people can pay for that product. Because sometimes as founders, we can be in our head. You think that what you are creating is the best thing in the world. But the market is really what we tell you if what you are doing is worthwhile. So first, Survey your friends, survey your family, and then use AI tools to get the answers you need.
A round of applause, please. Thank you so much. Today, I think we've come to the end of this session. Okay. Time. You want to say something, Sayo? Oh, our time is. Should we just take the? Okay, let's take the question. All right. He's also a CEO.
Hello, everyone. So I want to ask, how do you There's a stage in your business when you feel, for example, you've covered Ikorodu, and how do you want to how do you go out of where you are? Because I feel right now, people are always telling you, is either you do sponsored ads or you're paying for expensive influencers. I don't know. So the main question is, how can I get my business out there? How did you guys do it? Because I'm sure that you guys started way before, full influence of influencers, all these sponsored ads and all. So I really like to know, how did you guys?
Okay, is that for me?
To Uncle Deepo.
Oh, okay, thank you. I think first thing, they said you're a CEO, so welcome to the group. And what product, what do you do?
Yeah, I own...
Oh, shoes. Is it the guy that owns the account? Oh, amazing, amazing.
My business is the Kicks Corner. I sell high premium quality sneakers.
Amazing. So we are colleagues. We are colleagues. It's all footwear, right? So amazing. Well done. And I've seen your page a lot, and I've also seen your page on her Instagram. So well done. I think the first thing is, for us, when we started at Food City, I think I was judging the business by my limits. And as a founder, you will struggle with that. In the first few years, you would question whether it is really the quality of your work or it's just sheer luck. Because in my life, I never imagined that I'll build a business that is valued as Food City. So you will struggle with that. And maybe that is what is holding you back. Somewhere in your mind, you feel like, I can't go beyond Ikorodu. Ikorodu is really where I excel. For us, the first thing I did was the quality and the quality of presentation. I've seen your product pictures. I think your product pictures are amazing. So first, to answer your question in a simple way, can your sneakers sell outside Ikorodu? 1,000%. What you need to break is that fear. When we started Food City, sometimes we're getting more requests from countries outside Nigeria than Lagos. And we were only running ads in Lagos. So please, brother, break that fear. Realize, like I said in the beginning, you are building for the globe. Your God did not put you here to come and end up in Ikorodu. You are building for the globe. And the reason I need you to open up your mind is that where you are today is not where you will end up. We started Food City as a Crocs business. So the name was Crocs City. The initial name was Crocs City. It was customers that came and said, do you guys sell other sneakers? You sell? I'm like, okay, maybe in the future we want to do footwear, right? We changed it to Food City. And my first brand vision for Food City was that we wanted to act as an inroad for global footwear companies to come into Africa. And over the years, God has revealed to me that, Oga, you can be the global business. You can't only be the inroad. You can't be the one that they step on to get to your people. You can be the one for those people. So today, Food City is going, since last year, we've stopped selling Crocs and Toms. We are now manufacturing our own shoes. And that's where you can get to. So one day, your name, not just Nike, not just Adidas, not just Puma, your name can be on a shoe that your friends will pay for. Right? So break that fear. And can I tell you, bro, run ads.
Bro, you need me.
Bro, run ads. And run ads the right way. And maybe when we're done, we can have a chat. Okay. But yeah, amazing work.
Papa
well done.
has something to say. Can we please pass the mic to Papa? Papa, okay, Papa is mic.
Okay, praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Okay, thank you very much, guys, for the job well done. Okay, I was going to ask a follow-up question on running hard. How much should you spend on ad before you can get the kind of results you need to get? At times you put $100 and you say, how far can you go? You understand? For him now, he may be trying maybe 100,000, 200,000. Meanwhile, you may need to put like 500,000 to have the kind of result you will need. How do you advise people to go in that line?
Thank you so much. That's such a deep question, because at the beginning for Food City, it got to a point where we're spending about $4,000 per month on ads. We were running so many ads that Facebook gave us a personalized marketing officer that was calling us and I think that was when I started to sense that we're doing things wrongly. Because then, what we're doing, we're not running ads from Meta. I mean, there was not even Meta then, really. What we're doing was we're boosting posts. And the moment I got that knowledge, our budget went from $4,000 to about $100,000 a month, and we're getting the same result. So I would say, one, the first thing you need to look at is, who is your product for? If you're selling sneakers for $35K, $40K, it means that the people you need to reach are people in this room. That will probably mean that with a $200K monthly budget today or $300K monthly budget, you can reach those people. What might be stopping you from reaching those people might be some indices that you need to control on your ad dashboard, and we can discuss that after the call. But if you are selling a product, for example, your cheapest product is 2 million naira, it means that you are trying to reach HNIs. To reach HNIs on social media, you need to spend more because they don't spend a lot of time there. And whenever they spend time, they only have a few seconds to be convinced by anything. And for most of them, the HNIs that we've sold to, they would DM you and tell you, my PA will reach out. They don't have time. So if you're selling a product and your cheapest product is 2 million, you might be needing to spend about 7, 8, 10 million a month to reach them. I took a course last year, right, a founder course, and there was the guy that runs ads for big companies like Adidas and Nike was on the call. And he said monthly, some of those guys spend more than $10 million. Because the people they are trying to reach are different. The original pair of Adidas today is probably like 300 and something K. And that's like the old one. So the people they are trying to reach, so it depends when you look at your market. And that's why for anybody trying to start a business today, please, like he said, don't follow the trend. You don't have to be a luxury brand. You don't have to be a luxury brand. You can make a lot of money selling for ordinary people like us. Most of the billion-dollar businesses abroad, they are selling for ordinary. So don't try to position to sell to the $10 and their children. You can make a lot of money selling for ordinary people. So I think on the ad side, Daddy, it can range from, I'll say 300K depending on. So the first thing you need to look at is your pricing. Who do you appeal to? The lower their social class, the less you need to spend. As you go up, you will need to spend more. So luxury brands always need to spend more to reach their customers. But we can discuss specifics after this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We've come to the end of this session. So we're going to invite my president. A round of applause as she comes on stage.
Hello, everyone. Can we put our hands together for our beautiful panelists? It's such a great time and a great privilege to have people like this come to have this conversation. I know that to a lot of people or half of us might think that, it's just a program for the Chapel 121 Gen Z convention, but this is bringing stuffs that you get outside the Ikorodu to your doorstep. This is not your ordinary Ikorodu gathering. So I really, really want to say thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Uncle Dikpor, because I get embraced Uncle Dikpor. Thank you, Prince Akitoye. I'm coming for my juice and my 3 million. And thank you so much, Mr. Israel. I've heard so much about you, and it's really a privilege to meet you. Thank you so much. Without your cap, I really could not recognize you, but thank you for doing that for us. We really do appreciate it. And one thing I want to say is, please don't be strangers. We know you're with us. You're our big uncle, our Gen Z uncle already, and we've dragged you into the clan. So please don't be strangers. We really do appreciate your time. Uncle Dikpor came with his beautiful wife. I was telling how beautiful she looks. Can we put our hands together? I know Mr. Larry came with Sam. Can we put our hands together for Sam? I also know that Prince Akitoye came with his nephew. Can you just wave your hands? Can we put our hands together for him? Thank you guys so much for coming and blessing us. Oh, I am so sorry. Okay, yes, Shokwe, I saw you with those guys. Can you just wave your hands? Let's see you. We appreciate you. We love you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Quickly, we just have like a little token just to say thank you. We appreciate you. We see you. And if you have a few minutes of your time, you can just stay back because a lot of guys will want to see you. But if you're very busy, we understand. Can you please be on your feet and just put your hands together for these guys? Oh, Uncle Diko, you're going to sing. Okay, no, please give him the mic. You're going to sing. Let me ask your wife, can he sing? But I can see that you're putting your camera up. He will sing. She's ready. Your next birthday video.
Oh, wow.
Let's have it. AEO.
Okay, so I have to sing now.
Yes, please, before we do this.
So I'll probably sing the very common song, the song that made people realize I can sing. I've been in the choir for a long time. I was in Living Faith Church choir for a long time. But I think I struggled with my faith for a bit.
Sorry, can you use this?
Okay. So I struggled with my faith for a bit, and I tried to find the God that I heard speaking inside me. It was not consistent to the assembly I was attending. So I had a period where for 2 years, I didn't have a church. But then I found CCI. And one day, I was just driving to work, and an AEO song was playing in the car. And I would usually do covers and just have them in my phone. And also, maybe that's also a lesson for somebody here. If you're hiding, come outside. Right? So I had that gratitude video on my phone for maybe 3 months. But somebody, a friend, is a pastor in CCI that had seen it, that had watched it, was like, Dipo, if you don't drop this video, I will put it on my own page for you and I will tag you. And that was what forced me to put it. And since then, it's been amazing. It's just a pleasure. Thank you, guys. So can we do gratitude? I think it's on, is it C or C sharp? That's my first time singing this song outside my car. Okay, I think I should sing and then you go with me. Is that fine? Okay. So, look, will I fathom or comprehend this love you give? Tell me, where do I begin? Oh, wait, look at my hands up. Oh, sing with me. Kimake bicherubim, tavi seraphim, Lord, Timo Wahyo, you want to fisha shobora. Your mercy, your goodness, ni ma fingara, and I feel it. Oh, I see it. Gratitude is it. Please join me. And so is everything in me. I say, Ashe, oh. Eshe o Jesu, and so is everything in me. I say Eshe o Jesu, Eshe o Jesu. And every time I look to my right, every time I look to my left, all I see all over me is your faithfulness. And every time I look from up in the middle, every time I look from top down below, all I see all over me is your faithfulness. And so it's everything in me. I say, Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, oh, Jesus. Ashe, Jesus. One more time. With everything in me, I say, Ashe, Jesus. Ashe, Jesus. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to have a quick picture session. Can we please put our hands together for Pastor Femi? Papa, please come join us. Excel, can you please come up quickly? CEO, hello, my CEO, sir. Please come up quickly. So we're going to have a group picture. Definitely, I wish everybody could be up. If you want to be in this picture, just wave your hands. Okay, if you want to be in this picture, let's take one, then we'll call everybody so we can have... Jessica, can we have a group picture? All right, thank you so much. Onye, please come. Kicks Corner CEO, please come. Where's Treasure? Treasure, quickly come. These are guys that organized today. Thank you guys so much. Where is... Wisdom, where are you? Gabriel, where are you? Gabriel, you... Please come up, come up. Put your hands together for Gabriel. Papa, okay, Papa, let's do the five of you, then we'll join, then everybody will join. So the five of you first. Yes. Okay, you might need to step forward. Should I sing while you are doing this picture? I'm channeling the Sumisola baby in me. You guys don't want me to sing? I should not bother. I know I'm better than you guys, so whatever you think, that's your business. Okay, we can join now. You sure you don't want me to sing while I'm doing this picture? Let me stay there, Papa. Important. All right. Who is next? Okay. Next. Hallelujah. Praise God. Praise God. Please, let's stay. We still have a very interesting session coming up. This session talks about finances, how you can save, how you can spend wisely. So please, don't be in a hurry. Just stay around so we can have that session quickly. Thank you, guys. Can you please put your hands together for yourself? You're doing beautiful. I like the energy. I like the smile and the questions. Thank you. God bless you. Oh, yeah? Okay. All right. Thank you, guys, so much.
Okay. Hi, guys, again. Praise the Lord. All right. So we're going into the last session for today. So this is our Let's Talk Finances session. So basically, we're going to have an expert on finance come over here to teach us how we can grow our finances, how to grow our wealth, how to make money, because yes, everybody's trying to get the bag. So please, Chapel 121, let's put our hands together as I invite an intelligent person to take this session, Busayo and Yolagiwa. Please let's put our hands together for him. Clap, 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 clap. Do you have money? Clap.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. I feel like such an underdog because I am coming directly after someone just sang, and such a wonderful session. But I'm also replacing somebody who I consider like the smartest person I know, and he's chosen me to replace him to talk about finance. So a little background about myself. I grew up in Agege Pen Cinema, moved a bit, College Road, Idrishaga, Fagbar. Then I went to Obafemi Awolowo University to study estate management. And after 5 years in OAU, I really didn't know what I was going to do in my life. I just didn't know. Because, like, you finish school, like, okay, what next? But I knew that, for a fact, I didn't want to do estate management because during my IT, I saw the manager of a respectable estate management firm, like one of the top 2 in the country, and the manager was earning 80,000 naira. And I was like, this is not my life, so this is not what I'm going to do. And I got a call maybe 2 weeks after I finished my final exam to come study for a finance course. And I was like, okay, why not? And that has led me to here. 8, 9 years after, learned a lot about finance, and hopefully I can share a couple of these things with you guys. So, in terms of protocol, if you have any questions, please feel free to stop me whatever time, and let's just get directly into it. So, this presentation, it starts with the first slide talking about the myths of investing and growing wealth. So please, next slide. So there are certain myths that we have. First of all, investment is risky. I'll start earning money when I have more money. I need to time the market to know exactly when to invest. And short-term losses means that I failed at investing, which is not true. First of all, investing is risky, fine. Yes, true. But not investing is riskier. Because if you keep money in your pocket and you don't do anything with that money, you would spend the money on something stupid. And that's just the fact. Because money has like an intrinsic nature to be spent. If I send you cash now, I send you 1 million naira inside your account. There's this popular question: what will you do if someone gave you $1 million? And everybody has like different answers. Oh, I'll buy this, I'll do. But the one common thing is I would invest that money. So if you ask 100 people, maybe 90 of them would add investing to whatever it is they're saying. But most people don't really understand the concept of investing. If you give me $1 million today, the first thing I'll do is I'll buy suya. I'll buy suya for myself, my family, the whole neighborhood. Buy like 200K suya. And I'll eat it, and I'll go to sleep. And 1 week after, I'll do the same thing. I'll buy suya. Because, like, what's the rush to make these decisions? Because money is in the nature of money to be spent, you would want to do different things. And that's the first thing you need to learn. That, okay, if I don't use this money for something good, I'll use it for something bad. So when you say investing is risky, not investing is riskier because you spend the money. I'll start when I have more money. Okay, I have only 50K in my account. This I can relate to. Because, to be honest, if you don't have a lot, it's hard to invest. But it's also a mentality thing. If you train your mindset to a point where, oh, I'm diligent when I have 5 naira. If I have 5 million, there's a higher possibility for me to be diligent when I have 5 million. So that is very important. In terms of like the mathematics of money, it also makes sense to start early. And that's why people have trust funds for their children. Like smart people or rich people, they have trust funds for their children at a very early age because they understand that, oh, for me now, if I haven't been, I'm 30 for context, if I haven't been saving from the time I got money till today, I only have from now till 65 to earn money and spend that money to create something good. Also, I want to clarify something. People say generational wealth. I feel like that's a tautology. Because if you have wealth and it's not generational, then it's not really wealth. So it's like you need your head right from the very get-go to build something that can last or outlast you. Next slide, please. Okay, so in a regular lifespan of a human being, you have 360 salaries. So you start working today, in 30 years, you earn a certain amount every month. For 30 years, you have 360 salaries. How would you use this salary to pretty much stabilize the future of your generation? How will you spend as little as possible every month such that you can build the savings you need? And remember, money deserves to be spent. And money requires, like, it just will leave your pocket. Like, there's no, I'm holding money and keeping it in my pocket to be rich forever. You'll find problems will come. Businesses, opportunity will come. Money will shall want to live. So, next slide, please. So that leaves us to the 4 levers of financial growth. And these 4 levers are they're primarily the only thing that you need to understand. And I'll use Dangote, for example, as an example. Okay. So Dangote has cash. And it has cash in the sense that every April, around this time, Dangote Cement will release a financial report from audit. And they'll say, oh, this year we made 1 billion naira, 2 billion naira, 3 billion naira. Dangote would say 90% of this money will be given back to shareholders. And that money comes directly to his pocket because he owns 90% of the business. And dividend alert is cash, like pom-pom in your bank account. You have seen money in your account. So Dangote owns 90% of Dangote Cement. Example, they earn 1 billion naira at the end of the year. He declares 90% of that 1 billion to shareholders. That means 900 million goes to shareholders. Of that 900 million, he has 90% of the 900 million. So 890 comes to his own pocket. He gives everybody else the rest, and he has cash. Next one, debt. He wanted to build a refinery, and he probably has the money to build a refinery. However, he didn't use his money. He went to get debt to fund the refinery because it's cheaper for him. Rather than use my hard-earned cash to pay for something, why can't I leverage the financial systems to literally do the same thing at a cheaper cost? That's debt. Minority equity, Dangote probably has several small investments in several businesses where it's not 90% shareholding, but they're just small. Oh, I put 50,000 here, I put this. That's one. The majority equity is Dangote shares, which leads to cash. So these things are kind of connected because debt also leads to cash. You get debt from outsiders, you put it in your business, the business is doing well, you're paying the people that you collected debt from, you're also paying yourself as a shareholder. So all these four things, they lead to the four things underneath. First one is your earnings capacity. What do you have today that can get you cash? And this is the easiest, because as human beings, we're structured to have jobs that gives us money on a monthly basis for us to get upkeep. So cash is the easiest. Also, you can upskill, get a new job, get a second job, get a third job, and then you have a means of getting cash in. So, I currently have 3 jobs. I am a co-founder at a tech startup. I am an investor for myself and my family. And I have a daily 9 to 5. I take these 3 jobs seriously because me being an investor for myself and my family should not count as a job, right? Because you're investing your money. Okay, who cares? But I consider it a job because of these 3 things. First, earnings capacity. I need to build a system to get me as much cash as possible in the short term, such that I fund investments for the long term. And this is the most important thing. I believe the pivotal moment in my life where I improved my earnings capacity was in my NYSC. At the end of my NYSC, I think there was a CFA program I paid $400,000 for. And I didn't have that money. I think at the end of NYSC, I was earning $80,000 or something. And, 80,000 comes in on the 30th. By the 5th, by the 6th, as an NYSC, all that money is gone. There's nowhere the 400K is coming from. So I went to borrow from people around me. And I studied for the exam, passed. And I didn't complete the exam. But I learned enough to sit down in rooms with people that can talk about finance for hours, and I wouldn't get lost. So pretty much invested in my earnings capacity such that I can go to job interviews and ask for more money. Why? Because I know more things. So earnings capacity is the first thing I want everybody here to focus on, because that's the first thing that you can control. It's like, if I work hard enough from now till the end of the year on one task, I probably have more leverage than someone that just spends a month on it. And therefore, if both of us go for a job, I'm more likely to get that job. So earnings capacity, very important. Second is creditworthiness, which links to debt. Nobody is giving Dangote billions of dollars if he hasn't shown a track record to pay those billions of dollars. Nobody's going to give you money if they don't think you can pay it back. And as individuals, it's easy to say, I don't like owing people money. I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to. But debt is very good. Like, very good. And the way I structure it in my personal life is I lend money from my friends and to my friends. And what this allows me to do is, sometimes I don't even need the money. Sometimes I'll just call my friend. I'm like, bro, I need like 200K, 300K. Put in my bank account. I'll pay you back on Thursday. By Tuesday, I'll send it back to the person. I'm doing that for 2 reasons. Number 1, creditworthiness. Number 2, to make the person also comfortable enough to come to me when they're in need. Because it can't be a one-way thing, especially with your friends. It can't be a one-way thing where, let me borrow money, I'll pay back, and they don't come back to you. So you have to create a situation where, if you know you're not a thief, and you're a good person, and you want to improve your creditworthiness, you're my very close friend, can I have some money from you? I'll pay you back a certain date. That day comes, you don't run away, you pay the person back, and you also leave that door open such that when that person is in need, they can come to you. And the reason why you leave that door open is mutually beneficial. You want to increase the amount of money that you can borrow from that person, and you want it to be both ways. So, creditworthiness, that's how me, I'm not saying you should go and do it, but that's how me, I think about it in my personal life. Also, there are people I know that do the same thing with credit companies. So if you go and take a loan from a bank, for example, and you pay on time, it's easier to get more loans, and it's just easier to curtail all these imbalances that money tries to get from you. The third is minority equity. In my personal life, that is investments in, like, the stock market, for example. You buy 1% of Dangote Cement, 1% of WAPCO, 1% of Access Bank, and you just have things that can outlast you or can build cash scenarios in the future. So the two buckets down are more 5-year term. So you have minority equity in the company. You're not looking for returns in the next 1 year or 6 months. You should have like a longer focus or a longer view of when you should get returns. And the third is majority equity. And that's where, like, in my personal life, I'm a co-founder of a business, and I own majority stake in that business. And this is the significant growth level of wealth. If the business does well, I do well, I have more cash, things are good. So for the next two, it's investment acumen, to know which of the companies you'd invest in to give you minority stake, and patience for majority equity. Because whatever it is you do, whether it's the crochet business, whether it is your creatives, whatever it is, it typically doesn't generate income in the short term, or it doesn't generate significant income in the short term. So you have to be very patient and goal-oriented, purpose-oriented, to find what you'd like invest in to be this majority equity. Next slide, please. Okay. So these are rules that are just important. I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to read. You can lose money investing in short term, but you lose money not investing. That we've talked about. The second is the best portfolio is the one that you let compound. If you invest in something and you're taking out returns every 1 year, every 2 years, it kind of means you're short-term thinking. Most of the benefit of investing is when you leave it for a longer period of time, such that the balances can accumulate and generate more income for you. The way up is never straight. You're going to have ups and downs, and you need to have stamina. You need to be like very focused. Next slide, please. Okay. So the average inflation for Nigeria over the last 10 years is 19.6%. This means every year, if you own 100 naira, by the end of the year, your 100 naira is worth 81 naira. And if you don't do anything about it, you're just getting poorer in Nigeria, especially in Nigeria. Purchasing power loss since 2015, 83%. If your money is depreciating in value, the ability for you to buy things is also depreciating. Devaluation. In the last 10 years, Naira is always going to fall. And so, as a Nigerian, everything is working against you. They want to keep you poor. So you have to fight. Me, it's war. Personal war against the country, because nobody's going to make me poor. Next slide, please. Now, what the numbers say. If you invested in these 5 businesses 10 years ago, these are the returns that you'll get. These are amazing returns. Nobody is going to give you these returns in the market. Nobody. Nobody will say, give me 1 million today, and in 10 years, I'll give you 5 billion. Like, okay. God bless you. God bless you. But then these are companies, real companies doing real things that are making the same returns. Also, 62 of 98 businesses. And when you hear stocks, just think businesses. 62 of 98 has delivered 500 plus over the last 10 years. 27 have done 500 to 1,000%. Only 2 were negative. Only 2 businesses in 9 years out of 98 companies did not yield a return for investors. So in the short term, out of that 98, it could have been 50 that were down in the first year. But in a 10-year period, almost 98% were positive. And that's why you always have to think in the long term. Anything that gives you short-term gain, I don't know if this is like a core truth, but anything that gives you short-term gain at the expense of your long-term benefits, typically push all those things aside. So I don't even want to say things. Like me in my personal life, the things I've stopped doing, and I've stopped doing since, like things like betting, MMM, crypto, like those things, you'll never find me there. And I'm not saying you should do it though. I'm saying that I'm not doing them because of how it shapes my mind. I used to bet in the university, and I've made some nice change. Like you put 2,000 on Wednesday, by Friday you have 45,000 in your account. Beautiful. But what it does to your head is that it makes you value those short-term gains more than the long-term vision. So even if it's 1K you put today and it's giving you 5,000, you'll be like, maybe there are more opportunities like that. And then the net gains on whatever it is you do is bad. So that's why I didn't do it. I'm not saying you should have, but that's my own thing. I also saw that this is for Nigerian companies. In the US, the numbers are even more amazing because there is no naira devaluation. There is no inflation eating out of your money. Real purchasing power is not bringing you down. America is a more stable environment, and the statistics are the same. 98%, so I think I saw a chart, 80% over 5 years, guaranteed success for all the businesses. If you increase that to a 10-year period, it goes up to 90%. If you increase it to 15-year period, it's 98, 99% positive. So it's what are we doing today such that in 10 years' time, I'm part of those 98%? We have lost out on all this, so there's no way we can tap into these amazing results. But in the next 10 years, it is almost certain that these things would still happen. So it's how do we position ourselves today such that these things are up to us? Okay. Emeka has a theory. He says if you save 50,000 on a monthly basis, every year, but after every year you double it to, so 50,000 every year till the end of the year. Next year, 100,000 every month till the end of the month. The year after, 150K. These are what the numbers, these are just what the numbers say. At the end of a 30-year period, your total monthly investment will be 1.5 million on an average. Your annual investments will be 18 million on an average, but your cumulative for 30 years, from year 1 to year 30, how much will I have put in will be 279 million as investment. Just from 50K or 50K every month. Then the next year, 100K every month. The next year, that's him. By the end of year 30, you'll have invested 279 million, and your returns on that portfolio at 16% per annum would be, it's kind of significant, no? This is significant. So, how do we enable ourselves earn enough such that 50K a month is not too much for a longer period? So, say for example, you didn't do 50K a month and you cut all this by half. say 25K a month, then the next year is 50K, then the next year, it will just be 100 and something million that you would have invested, and your money, your value will be 1 billion, which is also not so bad. So it's like, okay, practically speaking, all this talk is fancy, but practically speaking, today, how do I get to a place where I can be investing these amounts of money? What to invest in is another case, because the value to get you to 2 billion is at 16% every year as returns, which is interesting, but it's even lower than the last slide we saw for those businesses. So there's still another upside here, but it's like, practically speaking, how do I get from whatever it is we're investing today till this? So I'd like to stop before I go to the next slide to ask questions, to see if anybody has any questions, and if not, we can just go on. No? Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. Okay.
The last slide. I'm not on the, like, we didn't get the explanation. We did not get the explanation.
So last slide.
Exactly this slide.
Yeah.
On. Yes, I'm not sure I understand this calculation.
Okay.
Like 50. Praise God. This calculation, the question is 50K monthly, right? That's 15 times 12. 600K. Then in 30 years. 80 million in 30 years now.
So you do? At the end of year one, you have invested 600K.
Yeah.
And that's it. So year two, you're investing 100K monthly, and that is 1.2 million.
Also, but like we are increasing monthly.
You're increasing it
Yearly.
annually by 50,000.
By 50,000. Oh.
Wait, sorry. Are you compounding?
Yes. That's the only way it works. That's the only way it gets to 2 billion. If you are taking money out of it, it doesn't get to 2 billion.
It's not visible.
So if you're earning 350K right now, practical example, you're earning 350K.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And you have the ability on a monthly basis to put 50,000 every month away. It might be hard for you to maintain this till year 5 if your salary is constant. Hence, in year 2, in year 2 it might be hard if your earnings capacity is constant. And that's it. You have to grow, and you have to get your earnings capacity. See, people have multiple jobs, 3 jobs, 5 jobs, 6 jobs. You can't just have a 350K salary and say you want to be a billionaire by just putting 50,000 every month. That's not how the world works. So, in addition to what you currently earn, it's like, okay, what are the other things I can be doing such that this 50K would not be a problem to me? So, say, practically speaking, you have a 9-to-5 that pays you 350,000, and you find another side gig that is giving you 100,000 naira, for example. You can literally dedicate that 100,000 to this. 50,000 here, 50,000 this. In the next year, you now grow your side gigs from 1 to 2. So your side gig, you now have 200K for your side gig, then you can increase that amount. But practically speaking, the numbers work. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Any other questions?
Yes, I want to ask, is this on any savings accounts, or we have specific platforms?
Anything that gives you at least 16% per annum, which is hard to find, but if you put the money in federal government bonds, for example, I think they're already giving you 16% per annum, and the risk of default is 0.
But you can't just be doing 50K monthly. I think it comes as a lump sum for federal government bonds.
Yes, so these things are a little bit, so it's a little bit structured. I know money has a nature to be spent. So if you keep that 50K and you say, the next federal government, this thing, I'm going to take care of it, you might lose out because someone might just call you and say, I need your money for this, and then you use the money for something else. But I'm saying, if federal government bonds were accessible to the point where you can put all this money in FGM bonds today, it is risk-free, your money is not going to go out. If anything happens, Tinubu will print money for you and it will give you your cash. So I'm saying, based on these, it works.
Okay, I think for IBTC Mutual Fund, the average interest rate last year was 15%.
15%? Mutual funds?
Yeah.
Is that on USD or Naira?
Naira.
Naira. Okay.
Some, at time it goes to 18, come down again. Yeah. But on the average, it was like 15%. So that fits into this.
So probably your 279 million will then be worth maybe 1.5 or 1.2 because of that little 1% change. But like the concept is the same.
No, but that was, the previous year it was up to 18, 2024, 18, it started coming down.
So there are opportunities. At Credit Direct, you can put money in yield and it will give you 21% per annum. Although Credit Direct is not the federal government of Nigeria. So if Credit Direct goes like out of business, like they can't print money and give you your money back. Hence why if the federal government is giving you the same thing or slightly less, it might be a better investment opportunity or better investment decision to do that. Question?
Yeah, thank you very much. But I have a question, but I don't want to jump the gun on this. So I read a book just of recent that was talking about something like this. But it's called something fast lane. I will try to find the title of the book very soon. But he was saying that in that book that nobody that actually builds wealth, that most of the people that we know follow this kind of trend, that you work yourself, double everything like this, and then you have to wait for 30 to 35 years before you can actually spend money. So you watch your entire life go by. But like the people that we just saw now said, he advice in that book is to, invest in yourself and try to build on yourself and try to, increase your own financial earning capacity, like you said just now, so that you won't have to wait for 35 years. Instead of you waiting for like 16% annum, you can actually invest yourself and look into the market and find the areas of need and that you can enter into where you can actually multiply your income a lot.
Okay. I hear you clearly and makes perfect sense. Yes. But I have another perspective. I believe people that create wealth don't follow this exact strategy because if you follow this, by year 3, you will have found, like, there's a way your perspective shifts the way you move. So say, for example, you're earning 300,000 right now, and you're paying 50, and you're disciplined enough, you would see opportunities. And this 16% is the base case. This is to show you that the numbers work. But, the previous slide, please. There was a slide where we showed the companies on the stock exchange. No, the previous one. Where they had like 5,000% in 10 years. If you divide 5,000 by 10, so this is 5,000% in 10 years. If you divide 5,000 by 10, that is approximately 551% per annum. You're looking for 16%. So, like, this is based, me currently, I don't put 50K down every month. I don't do it because I have my own strategy. I understand. But what this 50K helps you do is that it helps you fix your head. You're not spending money anyhow. You have a goal. You have a way to access capital such that when opportunity presents itself, you can take use of those higher value opportunities. Say, for example, I put this 50K, and at year 3, I have put in like, say, 1.2 million. And then an opportunity that can generate me 10 million naira comes. It's T plus 2 days to remove your money and put it somewhere else. So when you say things like, oh, people don't do this and get here, this might build you the cash buffer required to access certain opportunities that you wouldn't typically have if you didn't have the money in the bank. You get me? Okay. We're good? Next slide, please. Okay. So we can do 50K and escalate to 30 million, escalate to 1.5 million after 30 years, or we can do the reverse. If you have lump sum now, and you want to put the money down now, such that in your future, you wouldn't have to be investing much, there's also a way you can do it. But in the end, the numbers, okay. This is the first scenario I showed you. We invested 279 million, we got 2.2 billion, right? This is the same thing. Invested 279 million, but returns are almost 3 times. It's the same amount of money that these two people put in, but one is earning 3 times more because in the second case, in the earlier days, they were investing more money. You know, we started at 50K every month. This person is now doing 1.5 every month in the early days, and by year 30, the person is now putting in 50K a month. So almost like flipped it around. Instead of starting small, this person is starting big. And you see the generation, like it goes from 2 billion to 7 billion. Because the most important thing when it comes to investing is time. How long are you in the market for? You need to, so when they say start now, it's not about the actual amount. It's about how long that money is in the market for, such that it can compound, accumulate, and turn into significant returns for you. Next slide, please. Questions? All good? Question?
$5,000 or $10,000. What's the long-term benefit for such people?
The long-term benefit for that person that's saving 5,000 is, number one, the person's mindset is different. And like, it might seem small, but it's very important. The way you think about money is what will get you to wherever you're going to. So first of all, the person's mindset is going to shift. Second thing, I would advise the person to go borrow money, try to improve your earnings capacity. You want to learn a skill. You want to learn a new job. You want to learn how to crochet. You want to learn a new data course. That is the primary thing in investing. Invest in yourself first. If you have a windfall, use all that money and invest in yourself such that you can earn more money to be able to do these things. Earnings capacity, number one. If I have 2 decisions, either so say that person that has the capacity to earn, to save 5,000 on a monthly basis, gets $1 million, say lottery. My idea is not to do any of this. Use that $1 million to find what would improve your earnings capacity to the maximum first. before making any other decision. Yeah? Okay. I think, question?
I want to ask that, how would you advise one to sell stocks, and at what point should you sell your stocks?
Never. That's the only answer to the question. Never.
Never. How?
When you're investing,
Yeah.
you need to find businesses that will pay you dividends in cash to meet your cash needs, such that you don't sell those businesses.
Also, I have to just depend on the dividends I'm going to get from that particular company. What if I've made profits on that particular shares?
Okay.
I should not sell
No, why? Why do you want to sell?
because I've made like.
Because money deserves to be spent. Because that's the only reason why you want to spend it. Because you have earned money, and because you have earned money, you want to spend money. Which is not a bad idea. Okay, yes, you can take some of it and spend, but if you actually invest properly, maybe like 8% of your entire portfolio would come back to you as cash. And this comes twice a year.
Yeah.
Typically in April,
Yes.
and like around June when they pay interim dividends, or when they declare interim dividends. And that's where people with wealth get their cash from. Except they have like a actual business that generates income or pays them salaries. But ideally speaking, you don't want to sell any of your shares. Ideally. However, if, for example, there was an opportunity to earn more, say I invested 500K in Access Bank, today is worth 2 million. I've made significant amount of money from my starting point. It's like, oh, okay, let me invest. Or like, what do you want to use the money for? You want to spend. You want to spend. That's the only thing. So, are there other ways to get cash such that you don't liquidate your portfolio? And that's why debt is also very important. Because life can be life sometimes, where you have a portfolio that is doing well, that has 2 million somewhere, but you can't touch it. But in your current situation, you're hungry. It doesn't connect. Like, why do I have money in this portfolio that's paper money and I'm hungry right now? But if you have a good credit system and credit worthiness system, such that you can go and borrow money till your next amount of cash comes, or till the next dividends comes, then you're building something. You're becoming independent. You're becoming secure. There is no, okay, worst case, I'll go and sell my portfolio, fine. But I don't want to do that, so let me build other structures that can give me cash in the short term.
Do all companies pay dividends?
No.
Sorry. How am I supposed to know the company that pays dividends? And
You hire me. You come to me, you say, Busa, I need your services. You pay me money, I'll give you information.
I'll go and ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, go and ask Claude. Yeah, that's a brilliant idea, to be honest. See, you ask AI, what are the highest dividend yielding stocks in the world? It will list it to you. The only question is, do I have access to get those stocks? Also, you need to ask, are these good businesses fundamentally? Because a company is paying you dividend doesn't mean that it's a good business. It can still fail. The fundamentals are still in question. So, most people see investing like a requirement for their life. Because, if I give you $1 million today, what will you use it for? I would invest. Invest in what? It's not your job to know what to invest in. That's what financial advisors are there for. It's not your job. All you need to know is how money works. What you're earning. So everybody now knows that, if I find someone that is giving me 16% on an annual basis, I know how I can turn that 16% on an annual basis to 2 billion, right? Everybody, so right now, if I said I'll give you 16% on a monthly basis, and I'll give you 270 million cash today. Everybody should have like a strategy on how to get that 200 million to 2 billion. If everybody doesn't know that right here, then I have failed and we should just start again from the beginning. Okay, good. So, I kind of lost my train of thought. You have a question? Okay.
All right. Okay, so sorry. Still on the stock issue on selling or not. Okay, what about stocks that are not performing? Of course, we've heard of issues whereby probably a company that was invested in crashed or something like that. I don't know if it happens in Nigeria here, but I know we watch movies and we hear, okay, so companies, some people have an insight ahead that a particular stock is going to crash, and quickly they start selling off their shares and all that so that they don't get. So when you say we should never sell stocks, I'm like...
You never sell, because if you made one bad investment decision to one company, okay, so typically when you want to invest, you diversify. You have your earnings capacity, what I can generate. You have a stock portfolio that is generating some type of income. And in that stock portfolio, you don't just have one company. So previously we had 62 out of 98 companies that did well over a short period and over 10. You think about these things like statistics. Over a 10-year period, it is almost practically impossible for half of your portfolio in public markets to die. Half. It's almost practically impossible because over a 10-year period, there's a 98% success rate for businesses. Also, if you invest in 10 companies and one dies, it's fine. Because your returns over the last 10 years could be 5,000% on one. And that will cover up for your losses. So in terms of, I think it's called black swan events, where some business can fail that you're invested in. If you're investing properly, then you shouldn't be worried because you'd be diversified enough. However, if that business that spoils is the business that you have majority interest in, then it's your problem because it's your business. That's the only business you should be concerned about. All those other businesses you're investing in, there are people who have jobs to run those businesses. If they fail at their jobs, okay, fine. You made a bad decision, okay, fine. But it's almost practically impossible for all the companies you invest to fail, for all the CEOs of all the companies you invested in to fail in their businesses. That is almost impossible. Yeah?
Hello. Good afternoon. So my question goes like this. For long term, investing in stocks or this accumulative compound interest, which is better? Because I think the accumulative one is more guaranteed. The stocks has like a certain level of risk attached to it. So which would you advise is better for long term?
I think it's a combination of both. Because that risk that you're talking about, on the other side, is reward. The risk of the company failing is there, but if you can manage that risk to the point where you pick the right companies, you have outsized returns versus like something like 16 and 5,000. It's very different. Or 15 and 500. Very different. So it is best. So when you're trying to be financially disciplined, you're not just thinking about stocks. You're not just thinking about my earnings capacity. You're also thinking about debt. And that's one thing I haven't heard like in any of the questions. Like debt. Access to debt is a very valuable thing. Because opportunities, you don't know where opportunities can come from. You can live here now and some random thing that you have never thought about in your life can give you the ability to earn money. But you need money to make money. You always need money to make money. So it's like, if I have friends, if I have people around me, if I have a bank that knows that I've been taking money and I've been paying back, those conversations are a lot easier to have. If I have a friend that I've borrowed 500,000 from multiple times and paid back multiple times, and I come and meet that friend and say, oh, there's this business idea that I saw and it's very interesting, and I need 2 million. 1 million for you, 1 million for myself. Let's do this business together and let's grow. Like, those conversations are a lot easier to have, but you would never have those conversations if you don't borrow money from these people and pay back. Okay. I think the rest of the slides are pretty much there. You need to be patient. In investing, there is no short-term gains. Except you're investing in yourself. There is no short-term gains. The only time you can get short-term gains is if I, right now, do a course in 2 weeks, do an interview 3 weeks after, get a new job, next month I'm already earning salaries. If you find another opportunity that gives you that kind of return, you should run away from it. Because number one is at the expense of your own self-development. So in terms of knowing what to pick, you shouldn't even worry. You don't worry yourself about it. One thing you should take away from this is structures. You need to build the structures to make sure that when money enters your pocket, it's not leaving. And I'm not saying don't buy food, don't eat, don't go to parties, don't pay for somebody else's food. No. You need to create a structure that allows you to live the type of life you want to live. But always at the back of your head is, if money comes, money would want to go. And before that money goes, let me keep some for my children. Yeah?
Oh, I have a question. So I don't know if this is part of your slide, but we're running on time. I wanted to ask about real estate investment. So I know that in our parents' times, they would have said that's like the safest form of investment. You buy a land and whatever. But I mean, now to get land, they're extremely expensive. So I know that there are like other options instead in terms of buying stocks or dividends from like real estate companies, and you technically own a land. So can you just give context to that? Sorry.
I want to say this as nicely as possible. I hate real estate. Hate it. Especially in Nigeria. First, because I studied estate management in school. So I have seen the underbelly of real estate. And in the end, you're buying things that yield less than 16% per annum, especially in Nigeria. Outside Nigeria, they earn less than 16%, but you can get credit for way less if you're buying properties. So the government kind of incentivizes you to buy properties because you get a cheaper cost of capital. But in Nigeria, nobody, for one, is going to give you debt less than 16% per annum. You now carry that debt, not cash, not money that you worked for, debt. You carry it, you go and buy property, and that property is earning you 10% per month. That means instead of 16% positive that you're looking for, you'll be at -2, -4, -6. And this is -6 in Nigeria, where inflation is already -19. Your purchasing power is already reducing by 89%. So that is why me personally, I hate it. But it is very valuable, very essential, because there's nothing better than living in your own house. Like, you wouldn't know until you sit down in your house and 1 year, 2 years pass, you don't think about rent. So there are benefits to it, but as an investment vehicle, it is very tricky to navigate, especially in Nigeria. Outside Nigeria, yes, get debt, get a mortgage, find a way to increase your earnings capacity so that you pay that mortgage in the shortest amount of time possible. And at the end, you have a house, you have peace of mind, you can let the house, you can rent the house to somebody and he'll be giving you money and then you use that money to pay for the house. There are structures that work outside the country. In Nigeria, hard.
Okay, I think there are two sides to mortgage business. One is you build and you let. Another one is maybe you build to sell, or you buy land, keep it for some time, and sell it later. Now, the issue of rent, I have a lot of people that are selling their building lately, because you build a house for, let's say, 100 million, and then you are collecting rent of, let's say, 3 million annually, or let's say even 6 million annually. Meanwhile, if you put that money in mutual fund, you get like 15%, which is 15 million. So they are beginning to sell their property to keep the capital in mutual fund and just get 15% without running after any tenant. The tenant may not even pay. After collecting the money, sock away, we have problem. You have to feed sock away and things like that. But where the money is in real estate is a bit capital intensive. Maybe you build and sell, or you buy land, you keep. That one, the problem with your money, you may keep after some time, you start having problem because you fence it as somebody come and start building on you because you have let it for some time. So, but if you understand the business, you understand, you know how to maneuver to keep land for a long period, land appreciates in Nigeria and you make a lot of money. And if you have enough capital to build and sell, but building and sell is not, with this hard economy when people are not very liquid, the business has slowed down significantly. But a lot are moving from rent to just keep their money in money market because rent is a lot of headache and there is no money in it.
Let me even add to what you just said. Because you said there's another strategy to build or to buy land and leave it for 10 years and sell. So practically speaking, say we buy a house or we bought a house 10 years ago, 10 million, or say 100 million, and today someone wants to pay us 1 billion for it. Seems like a good deal, right? Or say somebody wants to give us 200 million for it. That's 2 times your money. Like, will you take it, yes or no? Let's do maths. So you bought the house 10 years ago for 100 million.
No, so sorry. It's not like that. Land appreciate more than that. Even in this Ikorodu area, let me give you a typical example. This land, when we bought a plot 1 million plus. You understand? The land that is beside us that was sold recently was sold 115 million naira.
You see, that's why I started with 1 billion.
Can you see the gap?
You see, that's why I started with 1 billion. Then I now reduced it to 200. So those are the returns on real estate, yes? So would you take 1 billion on your money for a land you bought 10 years ago? And this is like a mathematical question, because for me to make that decision, I would calculate my returns. And my benchmark is 16% per annum. So if I do 500% in 10 years, that's 50% every year, is higher than my benchmark, right? So 50% higher than 16%, good. I can take that offer. I can move on with my life. I've earned a certain amount of money. I'm in the money. So it's more about decision making as opposed to specific opportunities. It's like there's a baseline of returns that is required. If anything falls below that baseline, I don't want. If it falls above the baseline, but it requires much work from me, I also don't want. Because if you sell a house for 200 million, it would mean that you have earned 100% on your money. 100% of your money is 10% per annum for 10 years. It doesn't work for you, you're minus 6. So 300 million. So it's more the decision make, like what are the levers to say that this is a good decision for my financial stability or not. So if living today, you know that 16% per annum is my baseline for any investment decision, I think you'll have left with something important. Yeah? Thank you very much. I think the rest of the slides I'll share with you guys, but it's mainly to be patient. You now understand the decision making. So let me even wrap up. First, your earnings capacity. That's the most important. Any decision in your life right now that gets you from earnings capacity X to earnings capacity 2X, yes. Even if it requires you to starve, yes. These are the hard decisions that you have to make. The second one is your credit worthiness. How do I move from being able to borrow 50,000 on a monthly basis from everybody around me and pay them back to 300,000, to 1 million, to 2 million, to 3 million? How do I do that? Those are decision processes that you have to make. Then the third can now be stocks. Okay, who can advise me best such that I build a portfolio that is giving me dividends of a certain amount? And that's where the 50K comes in. And the last one is majority holding in a company. And that's where, okay, me as a person, I have been working in venture capital for the last 8 years. I know a lot about venture capital. What can I build for that space that might create outsized returns for me? But for each one of these, you always have that benchmark. Okay, 16%, if nothing is earning me less than this is, and you're good. Yeah? Thank you very much, guys.
Praise the Lord. Can we put our hands together for Busayo? Hope we have learned a lot today. So I'm going to quickly put a few of us on a spot, just so that we can share what we have learned before I call Busayo again to the podium. So I'm going to start from this side. Can you please give Marvelous the mic? So Marvelous, what is one thing you think you're going home with?
Okay, I wrote some things down. Let me just quickly go through them and just say one thing. Yes, one thing I learned, and I think I would intentionally do, is put myself out there, because people don't know how much you can do unless you do it, unless you put yourself out there. And I really like what Papa said. He said, be bold, take big steps. And I liked what Prince said. He was saying that don't give up. Even though things might be discouraging, don't give up. Always put yourself out there. Yes.
Can we put our hands together for Marvelous? Gift. What is one thing you learn? You cannot ask us questions and will not ask you. You already know the next person I'm going to. She's looking at me, I'm looking at her. Gift, what is one thing you learned today?
Okay, I learned a lot of things.
Yes.
But it's what Papa said. So when Gabriel said life is not fair, and Papa said, yes, life is not fair, but that should not hinder you from breaking through. So life will never be fair to anybody, but we need to break through.
All right, can we put our hands together? Tell me, what is one thing you learned today?
I'll say be patient, start small, and always put God first.
All right, can we please put our hands together for those beautiful ladies? I'm coming back to you guys. Okay, Busayo, can you please come back up? Let's put our hands together once more for Busayo. Busayo, thank you so much for coming. It's a great privilege to have you in our midst. Okay, Jesse, where are you? Papa, we might need to bring you off so we can just take one more picture, sir. Onye also, please come up. Okay. Hi, my name is Evan. Where's Gabriel? Where are my financial boys? Quickly, let's take a... If you're in the banking sector, you're in finance, you want to join this picture, quickly come so we can take this picture. So all of you left bank to go and be doing what? Oh, yeah, quick. To dance on TikTok, to do tap. Send me a flower, send me a lion. All right. Okay, Excel, are you coming? All right. So a very big smile. All right, thank you so much, Busayo. On behalf of Chapel 121, I want to say thank you for coming and just manage our small token of love. All right. Okay. Where is wisdom? Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Hallelujah, church. Hallelujah. Oh, I should speak pidgin. Yeah, now, how far, my guys? Hi, Davey.
We did.
Sure. Okay, so I hope we learned one or two things. The service has been fun, right? Has it been fun? Okay, so I'll share a brief testimony, right? I'll share a brief testimony with you guys. Let's say towards the end of like the first quarter of this year, it has not really been easy for me personally, right? So coming to this convention, remember 2026 has been the most fun I've had the entire year. I don't know for you guys, but I've enjoyed this convention right from day 1 to day 2. Now day 3, and tomorrow is the finale, our Thanksgiving. You are not shouting. We're not shouting. Okay, I'd like to welcome our first timers, if we have any. Oh, we have. Just doing video with me. Do video of you. Flo. So we have a first timer. Do we have any other person? Okay, so. Church, please, let's welcome Miracle. He's a first-timer here. We're happy to have you. Hopefully you join our community as usual. They don't even, you join normally. But yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So yeah, one more time, can we give a shout? We've come to the end of Chapel 121, Day 3, Apostles in the Marketplace. Shout now. Shout now. Shout now. Okay, we'd like to thank Papa for being here. Thank you very much, especially sir, for being here. We appreciate your presence. Thank you very much. And every one of us that are here today, thank you for being here. Convention continues tomorrow with the Thanksgiving. Oh, when are anxious, they want to collect their brand new T-shirts. So tomorrow is our finale. Tomorrow is our finale, Sunday, the 26th of April, 2026. Convention Thanksgiving. We have our first service to be 8:30 a.m. and second service to be 10:30 a.m. So, media, please, can we have a word of affirmation? Or we should do call and response again? You are fast too. I like that. So let's rise up, please. And you know the usual now. Our selfies. Nobody's doing selfie today. You're not going to do your selfie. So let's say it together. Our formation for the convention. 1, 2, ready, go. I choose to remember my Creator in the days of my youth. I live each day with purpose, honor, and gratitude. I'm guided and sustained by God. I walk with Him now, and my life reflects His wisdom and glory. In every season, I trust Him to order my steps, so help me God. Amen. We'll do it. We will sing our song. Can we join us to sing our song? God is building a people of power.